to talk to Matt Crafton. He was like, we're championship material. This ThorSport team has everything it takes to go win this championship.
Matt Crafton gets an 8th at Daytona, finishes 2nd today here at Martinsville.
Celebration begins for Matt Crafton.
How you like that burnout? He ripped his tires off.
Matt Crafton back in victory lane here at Kansas.
His team continues to impress. Matt Crafton, he comes home 2nd.
Crafton comes home 4th, and his numbers have been great. They have posted top 10s in every race so far this season.
Another impressive run as he takes one step closer to the championship in this 2013 season.
You are looking at Homestead-Miami Speedway, the site of championship weekend for all 3 of NASCAR's series. We know who our champion will be, but plenty of other guys trying to win this race tonight, Ray.
And Krista, my bet tonight is on a Turner Scott Motorsports truck. You know why? Because they have 6 entries, and I'm going to be watching the number 30. This is Ben Kennedy. Check out the truck that he's driving tonight. It's chassis 218. That truck won at Michigan and also at Rockingham. Tonight, Ben Kennedy hopes to win the Florida Lottery. Hermie?
Well, Ray, James Busher won our championship last year, and earlier this year looked poised to be the first driver ever to win back-to-back Camping World Truck Series championship. It did not happen. Now, is it too quick to ask who will be the next one to come along and maybe prevent Matt Crafton from winning back-to-back? Maybe we'll start seeing that tonight. Bob?
And guys, don't forget about Bubba Wallace in this race for the Rookie of the Year in the Camping World Truck Series. He's over there just chilling out a little bit. Before the start of the race here, he will line up 18th, and he thinks he's got a good truck. Boys?
Well, thank you to everyone who makes the setup possible here at the track and the fans at home. Who will win this race? That question and others will be answered as the Ford EcoBoost 200 on Fox Sports 1 begins right now.
For us, a season is just a bunch of dates strewn across the calendar, finishes to witness and reasons to cheer. Each race an island unto itself. But for them, it's different. Reimagine that season again. Daytona, Texas, Texas again.
Yeah, baby, Texas!
Eldora, Canada.
He turns Dylan off turn number 10.
Talladega, Martinsville.
Oh my God, I'm speechless right now.
Simply portions of a much larger narrative. Every turn, every wreck, save, win. Every decision, every crew reaction, every villain, emotion, and action, all existed within this one season. Drivers and their teams live for these moments and dream of rising above the rest for a chance at glory. Dreams, born from imagination, only become real if someone develops into the definition of dedication, of sacrifice, persistence, passion. This evening, all of that progress, all of that persistence, every ounce of that resolve, the years of determination, falling down, getting up, moving on, learning, every breath, tear, every injury, every lesson, every failure will all be worth it. Proving each foot forward, every step was a stride of purpose towards greatness and a permanent place in history.
Welcome to Homestead-Miami Speedway as we get ready for the Ford EcoBoost 200, the final race of the 2013 season. Matt Crafton will start this race as your 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. But Matt wants more tonight, like putting an exclamation point on the season with a win here this evening. There's another driver wanting a championship this weekend, Austin Dillon. The 2011 truck champion is leading the points in the Nationwide Series. He wanted some extra truck time, so tonight he'll make his 3rd truck start of the year. His first start ended up in victory lane. Johnny Sauter is looking to bookend the truck season. In February, he took the first race of the year in Daytona Beach, Florida. Now 39 weeks later, he's hoping to finish off the season the same way he started, with a win. 19-year-old Ryan Blaney got his 2nd career pole today and wants to end the season doing something no one else has been able to do all year long, and that's win from the pole. He's got 134 laps in front of him and 35 hungry drivers behind him as we get ready for the final race of the year. Let's get things underway with our pre-race ceremonies. We go trackside now.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Honor Guard
Father, we thank you for the military, for our active duty and veterans, those who rush in when others rush out. And we pray for those in the Philippines who have gone through this terrible tragedy, that you would bring them comfort and help. And Lord, we also pray for the drivers and the pit crews tonight, that they would be kept safe. We thank you for this beautiful country that you have given us to enjoy. And we pray, God bless America, in Jesus' name, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome United States Navy veteran and Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Captain Roman Bass.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Tonight, we crown a champion. Matt Crafton, after 13 years in the series, will hoist the championship trophy at Races In. Championship weekend kicks off with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Homestead-Miami Speedway. As the drivers were climbing in, Matt Crafton had a little congratulations from Richard Childress, who's won a championship before in the Camping World Truck Series. Speaking of champions, how will Matt Crafton run this race tonight? That's a big question that we'll have to answer, as well as what kind of racing action are we going to see? Who's going to be able to outduel the other to get to the finish line first? Hello, everyone. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip with you once again as we round out the 2013 season. All right, Matt Crafton, we know he already has the championship. Does that mean that he will race differently tonight for this win?
I tell you, this guy made his first start at the end of the 2000 season. Finished in the top 10 in that race. And he's been doing it ever since. Every single race since the last race of the 2000 season, he's teed it up. He's finished in the top 10 well over half the time. So consistent. This year, 19 times in 21 races, he's finished in the top 10. So do I expect Matt Crafton to finish in the top 10? Absolutely. Because remember, he wants to win that owner's championship for Duke and Rhonda Thorson. That's very important to him. We know he's got the driver title locked up. He wants to win that owner championship. He has to finish 18th or better. For Matt Crafton, that's a layup.
And think about Matt Crafton. He's finished every lap this season, and when he gets into this race, he's going to be faced with a lot of options. Optionality, we called it earlier. When you get to the corner, you can go wherever you want. Look at Jeb Burton down to the bottom and Darrell Wallace Jr. up to the top. These guys can choose whatever line they want. If someone else is in a different line, you just take the other. But, Rick, when you head into the corner, it's a little bit of uncertainty. The truck wants to get loose getting down in there, so it causes a lot of action. But look at that. It doesn't matter whether you're top, you can take the lead, or the bottom. I love this racetrack, and this is going to be a fun race.
And anytime we're on a mile-and-a-half racetrack, you've got to remember Kyle Busch has won the most mile-and-a-halves of any driver in the Camping World Truck Series, so he's got to be one of our favorites. Let's get the engines fired. We go trackside for our command.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Ford Service Zone Manager for the Charlotte region, Aaron Galloway.
Drivers, start your engines!
The engine's fired for the final time of the 2013 season. Who ends up in victory lane tonight? Stay with us.
For the past 9 months, the last 21 races
have all come down to this.
We'll all fight to the final checkered flag.
We have a lot of racing left to do.
And welcome back. Trucks beginning to roll off of pit road. Kicking off championship week here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. The final mile and a half of the season, and here are the numbers.
That's the important thing right there, Michael. You talked about these guys going all over this racetrack. That's because of the progressive banking. 18 degrees right on the bottom, all the way up to 20 degrees right against the wall, and that's where they're going to be.
Our race analysis, 36 trucks starting this one. Expected pit stops, 3.
Yeah, we talked to the crew chiefs down on pit road, and the tires are giving up, which is great. It means for good action. So it also means we're going to try to get tires every chance we get. They said that maybe as early as 20 laps, if there's a caution, they're going to come get some tires.
Before the green flag drops on this one, let's head back trackside to Herbie Sadler.
Well, Rick, when you think about the Camping World Truck Series, you certainly think about Ron Hornaday. Unbelievable numbers in this series, Hall of Fame type numbers. Starts, wins, championship. You see it, a 4-time champion, 51 wins, 223 top 10s, and winner here in 2002. Well, last weekend after Phoenix, he was separated from his team, NTS Motorsports. They parted ways. We weren't sure if he was going to be at Homestead. The Turner Scott Motorsports team put this team and this truck together for Hornaday to make this start. He's in the truck 34 for Turner Scott tonight. Ray?
I mean, we've talked about how exciting the last lap of this race was a year ago. When Cale Gale got his first victory, everybody was excited. And here at Homestead, we've had 5 first-time winners. But let's look at 2013. What an impressive list of first-time winners we've had. Larson, Burton, Elliott, Wallace, and Jones. Some really great young drivers. But who else could put their name on that list tonight? How about Ross Chastain, Paludo? How about Townley, Gresham, Kennedy, or Quiroga? There's an awful lot of guys hoping to join the parade tonight. Bob?
Ryan Blaney became a first-time winner in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series last year. He also has a victory this year, 6th in points for the 19-year-old, the son of Dave Blaney. And now he's on the point for the second time this year. And he would like to cap off the season with a victory. He's in a battle right now for the Rookie of the Year honors to be awarded Monday night in Miami. And he's told me before the start of this race, he said, what better way to cap that off and win that award by winning the final race here at Homestead. Rick?
Thanks, Bob. Always a great show underneath the lights. It will be something that our cameras will capture all night long. We've also got cameras riding along with some of these drivers.
Yeah, let's ride along with Timothy Peters. He's in a Parts Plus Toyota. He got a big 1.5 mile win at Las Vegas back in September, trying to get number 2. You see his best finish here, 4th in 2009. Timothy Peters will start from the 19th spot.
Check out Darrell Wallace Jr. He's going to start 18th in his Camping World Good Sam Shet Toyota truck. He is a guy that's on the move. He's already won once this year. He's in a tight rookie battle like we talked about. A big night tonight. Could win him Rookie of the Year. We'll ride along with him.
Why don't we just ride along with our champion right there? Obviously, the engine fired. Matt Crafton is our 2013 Camping World Truck Series champion, and he's going to start this race from the 8th spot, going for that Owners Championship, too.
Let's hop up inside the top 5 and hop on board Melon 1. Those are Maryland melons that is on that truck, sponsored for Ross Chastain. He's obviously been close to winning second twice. We know how bad he wants it. He's not racing for points. He's racing for a ride. Tonight could be big for Ross.
So that'll give us some great pictures as the field being told one more time around before the green flag flies for the last time on 2013. Ryan Blaney trying to break a streak as far as the pole winner being winless. It's been 29 races since the last time a pole winner has been able to go on to victory lane.
Guys, we talk all the time about how difficult it is to have a race setup and a qualifying setup, and we haven't seen a guy with a good qualifying setup be able to go on and win the race. But that doesn't mean it can't happen tonight. These trucks are adjustable. We obviously are under the perfect conditions to race a truck, so maybe it's Ryan's night to do that.
I think the thing I like is the fact it was overcast all day today, so when these guys practiced, it was overcast. The conditions not that much different than what they have right now.
Matt Crafton, as we mentioned, once that truck fired, it was official. Your 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. And what an amazing career he has had. I mentioned it before. I almost call it a breakout season for him. He's not missed one lap this entire season.
It's been a joy to watch Matt Crafton march his way to this championship and just see the confidence grow and grow in him throughout the whole season. And now he's at the point where the championship's his, but he has unfinished business, Phil. He's got to go out and have a solid night tonight and lock up the championship for his owner. That's a big deal.
Duke and Rhonda Thorson on hand here this evening for this championship run. Matt Crafton could be the first driver ever to not miss a lap, complete every lap of the season.
Can you imagine that? No mechanical problems. He hadn't gotten a crash that cost him a lap. He got in a crash at Talladega. The truck was torn to pieces. Guess what?
Crashed across the line.
Backwards. Let's go, Rick.
134 laps until we find out who wins at Homestead-Miami Speedway. On the front row, Ryan Blaney, Johnny Sauter. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Homestead.
Ty Dillon had designs on maybe making it 3 wide as they got down to turn number 1.
And I told you Ross Chastain's racing for a ride. We saw him look to the inside as well as he tried to grab third away from Dillon from that 5th starting spot.
3 and 4 wide as they go down the back stretch, getting ready to enter turn 3.
Touchy time right now with the air pressure's down real low on these trucks.
Especially since look at all the different lines and all the different grooves. Side-by-side racing on low air pressure is a hard row to hoe. It will be interesting to see if everybody can keep from making a mistake with the intense competition that we see.
There were trucks right up against the line by the apron and all the way to the wall on that first lap.
I just like a truck that can pass on the bottom. Eventually, everybody's going to be ringing up at the top, I believe, because that's where the most grip is. If you've got a truck where you can dip down to the bottom and make a move, that will be very, very advantageous for you as the race proceeds.
Ryan Blaney out front, Johnny Sauter running second, and it's Ty Dillon and Austin Dillon. Nose to tail, third and fourth. Nelson Piquet Jr. is fifth. How about Darrell Wallace Jr. making the move in that number 54?
See, Hornaday, that 34 truck, we're not used to seeing him in that truck. Dives down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Well, guys, I want to tell you how competitive it is here. Ross Chastain started 5th, and Darrell Wallace Jr. 18th. They were side by side right there on lap 2. A lot of comers and goers here early.
Dale Gale, last year's winner, driving the 33 truck. He's currently in the 9th spot, so he's in the top 10. It's Ben Kennedy in the 30. Very close to the back bumper of Ross Chastain.
And that's something you're going to see all night, Phil. That was a slide job. Ross didn't have the momentum, but he had the track position. He moved up the hill, and those guys behind him had to scramble.
Okay, that 39 truck right here in front of Timothy Peters is making some good ground up on the bottom. That's Ryan Sieg.
Field lining up as they go down the back stretch and into turn 3.
There's that 51 truck of Kyle Busch already up 5 positions from his start.
Ryan Blaney holding on to almost a second lead over second place Johnny Sauter, but very close behind Sauter's Ty Dillon.
Yeah, I look for Ty Dillon to be, like you said in the pre-race, the guy you're going to have to beat tonight if you want to win this race. That 3 truck is solid on these big tracks, and Ty's proven he knows exactly what he's doing behind the wheel.
4 laps complete on lap number 5. This is Crafton looks to the inside, and we've got debris on the racetrack bringing out our first caution.
That means, oh goodness, we're going to have another restart.
Like a brake duct?
Yeah, a piece of a brake duct. Sure is.
So the first caution comes out. That means we're going to go 2 by 2 once again. Ryan Blaney, Johnny Sauter, 1 and 2.
There's the debris flying around there.
Yep. As soon as that flies, you can't tell what it is. You got to put out the caution in case it's something bigger than a brake duct, and a lot of trucks hit that.
Including the 13 of Frank Kimmel, who's making another start in the Camping World Truck Series. And welcome back to Homestead-Miami Speedway as we've completed 6 laps of the 134 scheduled just as the engines were fired and the trucks were rolling around under pace laps. This was the communication between driver and team of the 88.
Yeah, just ever so slightly, nothing really gnarly in here. Thank you guys, love you all. Let's go kick their ass tonight.
Sir, we got a good truck, hell of a race car driver. Good job, boys. Let's get some track position and get nasty tonight. Let's be smart all night, do what we got to do.
Get a beer, as they say. Get a beer, my friend.
21 races of extremely hard work to put them in position to where all they had to do was fire the engines, and they won a championship.
And that's what a championship driver sounds like and feels like after all the pressure of getting to this point. He's got it now.
Ray, a truck made its way onto pit road early in this one.
Yeah, that would be Ross Chastain, Rick. He started in the 5th position, but dropped like a rock. Said his truck was so loose he couldn't drive it. He tried to go to the high side, but that didn't help much, so he came down, and Chad Kendrick put wedge in it, took a rubber out of the right rear, and also changed the track bar position. So they bit a big swing at this one to try to tighten up truck number 19.
He'd started in the top 5. Like I said, we rode along with him up there, and he dropped all the way back to 17. So coming to pit road, getting an adjustment. And I don't think losing track position now is that big of a deal. We talked about multiple pit stops. You can gain that back.
Row 3, we see Nelson Piquet Jr., Matt Crafton back there, and James Busher, Kyle Busch just behind them. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway. Side by side for the lead. Johnny Sauter on the high side, trying to get by that 29 of Ryan Blaney. Blaney a little bit loose. Sauter takes the lead in Homestead.
Remember how Johnny finished the race in Florida earlier in February, won that race at Daytona. Up how PK jumps to the inside in the gunbroker draw. I'm sorry, that's
Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon in the 6 truck.
What a move he made on the restart to gain some track position. He had a big run off turn 2 and went to the bottom.
Austin Dillon already has been to victory lane this season in the Camping World Truck Series back in Eldora. See some sparks flying from underneath that 29 of Ryan Blaney. A little bit low tire pressure still.
Yeah, the left front corner of the splitter is rubbing. That should get better as the race wears on. The air pressures build up.
Johnny Sauter out in front, side by side, the battle for that 2nd position. Now Austin Dillon slides in behind the 29 as the sparks continue to fly on that splitter on the left front.
Look at Matt Crafton creeping up on Austin Dillon, trying to take the 3rd spot away. You heard his crew chief say, let's get some track position, get nasty. Well, he's doing it. He's up to 3rd.
Makes his move up to the 3rd spot. That drops the 6th back to 4th, Bob.
Austin Dillon very quiet on the radio, but I had a good conversation with him before the green flag dropped here, and he said their truck was very tight in practice today. But that was a good thing because they thought that truck would loosen up as this track really gets cool tonight. We got a battle for the lead, boys. That's really exciting.
Ryan Blaney takes the top spot right back away from Johnny Sauter.
And he did it on the bottom. That shows the strength of that Ford.
Yeah, we talked about how important it would be to be able to make those moves down low, because watch, Rick, as this baby plays on out, you'll see bunches, a lot of the trucks right out next to the wall, making it really hard to make a move on the outside, so you got to be able to work on the bottom. That's an impressive move.
Ryan Blaney now with a 3 truck length lead over the 98 of Johnny Sauter, his teammate right behind him. Matt Crafton in 3rd, and now moving to the inside, that 3 of Ty Dillon.
Ty was able to get by his brother Austin to move up to the 4th spot. Looked like he had designs on maybe making a move on the bottom and couldn't make it work.
Nose to tail, the top 4. The truck on the move, the 51 of Kyle Busch.
See Kyle down on the inside of the 31 of James Busher. He stays even with him on exit.
It's like James gets a bit of a run off. Can Kyle hang in there and watch him dive hard into 3? You can get in harder on the inside than you can the outside, but it's really hard to keep that momentum up. As you see Kyle drifting and drifting up the track, you can't keep your momentum up on exit, and unless you sort of do the slide job that we saw a bit of there, you're going to lose that spot. But Kyle was able to cut James off and take that spot away.
Here comes Jeff Burton in the 4, working to the inside of James Busher, trying to take that spot away.
Michael, you talked about Jeff Burton was the guy that you thought maybe win this rookie title. He's making some moves now, looking pretty good early.
Ryan Blaney still out in front of the field, the closest competitor that he would have to get by. Johnny Sauter runs 2nd, Matt Crafton in 3rd. Thor Sport, what an incredible team effort they have been able to put together in 2013, but Ryan Blaney still out in front of those Thor Sport drivers. Harvey?
Rick, what an impressive move that was by Ryan Blaney on this racetrack, with all the top drivers having relatively fresh tires to make that power move and retake the lead. Now, Ryan Blaney's had a pretty good season. He's won a race. He won a race last year as well. But when you talk to Ryan, he's really disappointed. He feels like they could have and should have won 3 or 4 races. But tonight he's out front looking good, chasing that rookie title. His crew chief told him once he got out front, now let's go into manage mode. They feel like tire management may be the key to be able to keep this 29 out front.
Thanks, Herbie. Look at the different options that these drivers have. Ryan Blaney running right up against the wall. Johnny Sauter a lane down from him, and Matt Crafton goes a little bit further down.
Yeah, he's all the way to the bottom trying to make something happen. That's interesting, Rick. Just 3 distinctively different lines, and all 3 of them are working. Look at Ty Dillon. He's got his wound up on the top too, and watch him close on Crafton as they come down the straightaway. That's momentum exiting the corner.
As Michael said, it's the shorter way around to run down on the bottom. You can drive in harder, but you have to wait to get in the throttle a little bit. That's when the guy on the outside gets it wound up like Ty did, and you really gain that momentum on the exit of the corner.
Less banking down toward the bottom of the track. 18 degrees down there. It progresses all the way up to 20 degrees closer up to the wall.
And a truck that we saw all throughout practice this morning riding right next to the wall was a 51 truck of Kyle Busch. He just really liked the high side, was able to make some really good lap times as the tires got more laps on them, and look for him to just put his truck right beside that outside wall and make some moves.
We heard the words saving your tires, but Ryan Blaney continues to put some of the fastest laps down lap after lap. Is that saving your tires?
Well, not much, but he knows he's going to get to put 2 or 3 more sets of tires on. NASCAR made sure that these teams had enough tires for this race. They got an extra set of tires, so they should all have 5 sets of tires for this race, 1 on the truck, 4 in the pits.
We had a great battle between teammates here. Miguel Paludo just in front of Ben Kennedy, and the 32 of Miguel Paludo coming out of turn 3 may have got a little bit too high up as he brushed the wall right there.
Whoa. It's just getting an aggressive line into the corner, making sure he runs as high as he possibly can. The higher you enter, the easier it makes the center of the corner. He got a little bit too high and brushed the wall. You know, he talked about him racing with his teammate Ben Kennedy. If you drive for Steve Turner, you got a lot of teammates.
Yeah, 6 trucks.
6 trucks in this baby.
Turner Scott Motorsports. Second place being contested on the inside. Ty Dillon trying to take the spot away from the 98 of Johnny Sauter.
Love passing low. I think that's a real sign that you're going to have something good for this 134 lap event.
We saw Ty able to make that move on the 88 of Matt Crafton to take over the 3rd spot. Wasn't able to make it happen that time on the 98 of Johnny Sauter.
How much information are you giving back to your crew chief early in this run? We've gone 20 laps. We had a caution there after about lap 5. Is the information coming back now where, okay, I feel like in a longer run, my truck is handling well?
The loose or tight, you've got to work on it for me. You know, if you can't put the pace down that Ryan Blaney's putting down as you see him driving away from the field, you better get an adjustment.
Ryan Blaney, after losing the lead to Johnny Sauter, was able to grab it right back and take over that top spot. Blaney looking for another win in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series to round out the 2013 season. Under the lights from Homestead-Miami Speedway. 24 laps in the books. The 134-lap final race. Out in front, Ryan Blaney has almost a 3-second lead over second place Johnny Sauter. But it's heating up behind him. Hermie.
Rick, the 3 of Ty Dillon is trying to work around Johnny Sauter to move up to the 2nd position. Ty's got a couple issues. Number 1, his truck is tight on exit. He cannot get the truck to rotate off the corner, scrubbing a little bit of speed. The next problem, the 51 of Kyle Busch is coming up to try to make a move on both of these guys. And his spotter has told Ty Dillon, you're going to have to move up the racetrack. That's where the 51's running. If you want to block his line and take air off the nose of the 51, you've got to move up. What's the 51 saying, Ray?
Well, Hermie, he started all the way back in 12th and has made great progress heading up to 4th. But on the radio, Kyle Busch has not been that happy. He said he has a vibration under his gas pedal. He's also free in, and he's very, very tight on landing. So they want to make some pretty big adjustments. But guess what? That Toyota Care Tundra is lightning fast. He's already up in the top 5.
That's one thing when these drivers and teams work on getting these trucks to turn through the center of the corner. A lot of times it'll favor being a little bit free entering the corner, and that's not a very comfortable feeling for a driver as you go driving right next to the wall and the truck wants to spin out on it.
Not a whole lot of margin for error here at Homestead-Miami. You really need to have that thing under you, like you said, entering the corner so that you can take that aggressive line right out next to the wall.
Ryan Blaney trying to run away from this field. We've had a good long green flag run here. Johnny Sauter 3.5 seconds back from Ryan. Then it's Ty Dillon and Kyle Busch. Those three trucks running very close together. As a matter of fact, Ty Dillon trying to take second away from Johnny Sauter now.
And if he don't complete this pass down here in turns 1 and 2, he'll lose third to Kyle Busch, but he does complete it, and Kyle goes to the bottom like Ty, trying to draft past Johnny Sauter, and they're both going to make it.
So second and third goes to Ty Dillon. Then that 51 of Kyle Busch all the way back to fourth now. The 98 of Johnny Sauter.
It's like Johnny must have had a little slip off turn 4 there, lost his momentum, and both those guys jumped on him.
He's running the middle of the racetrack right here, then moving up on exit, and they just lost all his momentum, and Ty was able to pull up beside him, and that punched such a big hole in the air that opened the door for Kyle as well.
It's also opening the door for Matt Crafton back there in the 88, who's running in the 5th position. Then it's Jeb Burton, Austin Dillon, Brendan Gaughan, James Busher, and Ron Hornaday rounding out our top 10.
Watch the speed here. You see Tack's going to be upwards of 8,000 RPMs, going to be probably 175, a little over 175 miles an hour as he enters the corner.
Under 140 before he gets back in the gas and tries it again as he comes down the front stretch.
Been a pretty nice ride early in the going for Ryan Blaney, but now that Dillon and Busch have cleared Sauter and Crafton, it'll be interesting to see if they can pull back up on that 29 truck that has had a nice, comfortable lead.
And Brendan Gaughan up into the top 10, now running in that 8th spot. Bob?
It's been 155 races since Brendan Gaughan has gone to victory in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. That dates back to 2003. So here was the conversation between he and crew chief Shane Wilson as the 62 goes for another spot on the racetrack with Austin Dillon. Before the race, Brendan asked, do you want to be conservative? Shane's response, we've been conservative since February. Just go. And go he is from 13th all the way up to 7th now on the racetrack. Brendan Gaughan on the move.
I really like that truck in practice too. Brendan Gaughan was really fast, and as we put these laps on the tires, you can see that that good setup is allowing him to drive up through the field.
Yeah, both those RCR trucks look awfully good in practice. On the long run, Ty Dillon right now runs 2nd, Brendan up to 7th.
Brendan Gaughan coming in 7th in the point standings, wants to be in the top 5 at season end. Ryan Blaney in front of the field. Now let's take a quick break. We go out to the LA studios for a Fox Sports 1 News update with Greg Wolf. Has the field by 4 seconds. Ty Dillon currently holding on to the 2nd spot. Kyle Busch is 3rd. Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton your top 5.
Guys, we're not that long from green flag pit stops. These guys can go probably somewhere between 50 and 55 laps once they're full of fuel. But remember, they had qualifying and fuel taken out as well as the pace laps. So this probably closer to 50 laps in this first time, maybe even before that. So we're going to have some green flag pit stops. That lends to itself to some mistakes on pit road, some speeding penalties, some dropped lug nuts. We'll see what would shake out if we get a full round of green flag pit stops.
Who has the advantage in a situation like that? An experienced veteran team or maybe a one-off team?
No, you certainly want to have experience, not only with the team, but there's so much time to be gained and lost exiting and entering pit road. You've got to get that tachometer right on the perfect speed that when you come down pit road, but coming off that banking onto the flat and then slowing down to our pit road speed limit is a challenge, and a guy like Kyle Busch, he knows exactly what to do. Ty Dillon's experienced, he's young, but he's experienced well. Those guys know exactly how to get onto that pit road, but the more times you've done it, the better you can do it.
And Ray Nelson, PK Jr.'s dropped back to the 14th spot.
Yeah, the last couple laps he has said it feels like something may be wrong in the engine, but he said he really thinks it's a fuel pressure issue. Said he's been watching the gauge, but the engine's starting to sputter a little bit, so they're concerned down in the NTS pits.
Great qualifying run for Nelson and that team. Started up front. He's hanging in there 14th if they...
And the caution has come out. You see the gunbroker.com 18 of Joey Coulter slow on the track, right front tire down.
Looked like he had some contact a little bit with the right rear too, maybe a spin, flatten that tires during the spin.
And the unbelievably dismal year for Joey Coulter. Yeah. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for Joey Coulter, and continues
tonight. He's on pit road, so he'll take that truck to the attention of his crew.
This is a great time for for all these teams to be able to come to pit road. And you talked about who's got the advantage on and off pit road. That's gone now. It's going to be up to the pit crews to get these trucks on and off fastest. And you know what? The adjustments. What kind of adjustments are we going to make in order to, there's that spin we talked about.
He did a nice job not getting any more damage into the outside wall.
A little bit of damage there to the rear of that truck.
He was running in the 23rd spot. The 13th entry for Thor Sport, driven by ARCA champion Frank Kimmel, will be the free pass.
Let's make some adjustments, Phil. Mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to have to run with that 29 truck somehow.
We haven't been able to do it yet.
No, we haven't.
Pit road is open. The field being led by Ryan Blaney, Ty Dillon, Kyle Busch, Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton. They're your top 5. We'll make the hard left turn, and let's go to Bob Dillner.
Brendan Gaughan comes to pit road, riding a streak of 3 straight top 5 finishes. He's 7th right now. This truck just way too tight. They'll go up on the track bar and change the tires on this 62 truck. Brendan Gaughan coming on strong in this one, Ray.
Kyle Busch is in the middle of the screen. They got to work on 2 things, free in and tight off. They're going to make a wedge adjustment on the right rear, also change the track bar. Air pressure on the right side. He said his vibrations at 8,300. Hermie?
Ty Dillon's truck started out on the tight side. He got freer as they ran along. It'll be a little bit of wedge in the left rear. 4 tires Sunoco fuel. The 29 of Ryan Blaney has not commented about his truck at all. 4 tires in a way. The 29 wins the race off pit road.
And a tight battle as the trucks all coming off of pit road. Ryan Blaney with that premium pit stall, able to get off first. 4 spots made up by Johnny Sauter. How about that?
Yeah, nothing pumps a crew up better than running good on the racetrack.
Welcome back to Champions Weekend. It's Championship Friday for Matt Crafton. Championship Weekend will continue on Sunday with Jimmy Johnson. All he has to do to complete the 6-pack is finish 23rd or better.
Yeah, what? That's not that easy.
All he has to do.
400 miles on this very tricky racetrack, running 3 inches off the wall.
What's his last 2 finishes here in Miami? They're outside the top 20.
Yes.
Huh? Drama?
There is drama. There's definitely going to be drama.
Who's got the pole for that cup race?
Looks like Kinsey.
Yeah, maybe that's closest pursuer. Anyway, go ahead.
Bob Dillner.
Austin Dillon in that 6 truck lost a couple spots on pit road, and that's because they took their time. Currently running 9th right now. That truck just way too tight, so they stuffed a rubber in the right rear spring to help it turn a little bit. Hopefully that'll be that much better for the 6 truck. Right?
This has not been a great track for James Busher. His best finish has been 12th. Right now he says his truck gets tighter and tighter on a long run. Hermie?
Yeah, Burton qualified 15th. He's up to 6th. Really likes his truck a little bit tight, a little bit of an air pressure adjustment, but Jeb going the right way.
Ryan Blaney, Ty Dillon making up the front row. Green flag back in the air. Blaney chose the inside line, and it is working for him.
Had a little push from that 98 of Johnny Sauter. Now Ty Dillon's going to get the momentum up on the high side in a side-by-side battle with that 98 of Sauter.
Look at that charge Matt Crafton makes through the middle of the turn and drives up on the outside of Kyle Busch. Now he's going to go to the inside of his teammate Johnny Sauter.
Trying to take away the 3rd spot. Crafton has it. Now he's looking for 2nd, trying to get it away from Ty Dillon.
Wow, what a restart for Crafton.
So Johnny Sauter had to get out of the throttle to keep him running into that teammate.
Jeff Burton looks to the inside, trying to take positions away. He gets to the inside of that 51 of Kyle Busch. Busch, after the momentum, is able to stay in front.
See the differing lines. We've seen him this entire race. See Matt Crafton side by side now with the 3 truck of Ty Dillon. Watch him dive down to the bottom of the racetrack.
He takes 2nd away from Ty Dillon. Your champion, Matt Crafton, running 2nd here at Homestead.
I like whatever adjustment we made to that baby, don't you?
Sure do.
What an impressive restart from Matt, driving on the inside and outside of trucks up to the 2nd spot.
How about Jeb Burton now down to the inside of the racetrack, trying to get by the 51 truck of Kyle Busch.
Running in the 4th spot, Johnny Sauter. So it's Ryan Blaney, Matt Crafton, Ty Dillon, Johnny Sauter, Kyle Busch. Your top 5 with Jeff Burton, James Busher, Austin Dillon, Ron Hornaday, Brendan Gaughan, your top 10.
But would 3 wide here? Maybe 4?
These guys are trying to get all they can possibly get on these restarts, knowing how hard it is to pass here. Grab a spot now. Try to hold on to it later.
A lot of options for these drivers, and they're taking advantage of them early.
Look at Matt Crafton. He's up there closing in our leader. Hasn't seen anyone catch Ryan Blaney all day, but it looks like Matt's there.
Matt ran about a half a second faster than Ryan Blaney did that last lap.
And he's a half a second behind, and now that gap is gone. Here comes Matt Crafton, trying to put an exclamation point on a perfect season. Ryan Blaney just in front of Matt Crafton, Ty Dillon, Johnny Sauter, Kyle Busch. Run where they ain't, I think you've said numerous times.
In baseball, the goal is to hit it where they ain't. Well, in NASCAR, you got to go where the other truck isn't so you can make these moves, and you have those options here at Homestead, and Matt Crafton's doing it.
It's amazing how strong that Menards truck is on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the strongest truck we've seen on the bottom this entire weekend.
Matt Crafton takes the lead away at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
How are you going to race for this championship? Celebrate your championship out front, right?
His teammate did it back at Kansas in October. Frank Kimmel won the ARCA Racing Series championship by winning the race.
Now Matt Crafton leading the field here at Homestead. Ryan Blaney back to the second spot. Ty Dillon, Johnny Sauter, Kyle Busch, your top five. Now Jeb Burton looking to the inside of Dillon. He'll take that spot away.
We saw Jeb Burton very, very loose in qualifying. His team made some great adjustments, and now he's got a good handling truck. Or
except there.
Or does he? Or maybe he's just hanging on to it better than the rest.
How about a very fast truck?
Yeah. He never backed off and actually gained ground on the truck he was racing.
Austin Dillon was able to take the spot back away. Now on the high side, Jeb Burton back in front of Austin Dillon.
I like it. These truckers like to hang it out. Do whatever it takes. You only got 134 laps to get it done. You better be in a hurry.
One more today in that 34. Just behind Austin Dillon.
Here comes Brendan Gaughan, the South Point Chevrolet number 62. We saw him make his way up into the top 10 before the caution flag in the pit stops.
Hornaday likes to dive that truck to the bottom and try to gain on the entry. He didn't make any ground there. In fact, he gets loose up in the center of the corner. Looks like Brendan's going to try the bottom. No, decides to fall back in line, but Brendan's got a great truck.
See James Busher, the 31, pull out a line to get to the inside of the 77 of Ramon Quiroga.
1 and 2. Matt Crafton in front of Ryan Blaney, separated by a truck length.
Looks like Ryan's truck comes in maybe better after a few laps, and he's able to hang with Crafton, and now starting to look on the bottom of the road to see if he can find any room around Crafton. Good run off turn 2.
Side by side for the lead. Here comes Crafton on the high side once again to take that spot back. But Ryan Blaney showing his strength at the bottom of the track.
All the way down to the bottom, you see Matt Crafton moves down the racetrack a little bit, runs through the middle of the racetrack.
Look at Ryan Blaney in there. He's driving the heck out of that thing sideways, trying to work his way around Crafton for the lead, and he was sawing on that wheel.
54 laps complete on lap 55 of 134. Here comes Ty Dillon in the 3, using the momentum on the high side. He's going to come into this battle.
You can see that 3 truck close in, ran the high side all the way through the corner, had that momentum as you mentioned. Now Ryan Blaney goes back up to the top.
Matt Crafton running through the center of the turn, able to hold off that 29 of Blaney.
Kyle Busch, the 51, continues to hold down the 4th spot. He's about 6 truck lengths behind that 3 of Ty Dillon.
You mentioned that Frank Kimmel was able to win the championship at Kansas earlier this year. Well, that's exactly where Matt Crafton got his 1 win.
Stuff makes me want to fight.
Battle for the lead. Ryan Blaney, Matt Crafton. Blaney strong once again on the bottom of the track. Can't take it away from Crafton. Momentum pulls back in front.
Almost cleared him. Didn't quite do it. Look at Ty Dillon now. He's going to try to close up on the tailgate of the 88.
Which way does Dillon go? It looks like Blaney's strong into the corner. Maybe completes the pass this time.
He has the advantage. He's able to stay in front of that 88. The momentum with the 88 now is he'll close the gap as they go into turn number 1.
I was watching the scoring monitor while we were away at commercial break. The top 3 trucks were separated by 15 thousandths of a second on that lap. Bubba
Wallace got into the wall coming off turn 4.
And Sparks on the right side doesn't look good for Darrell Wallace Jr.
No, the whole right side of that truck is wiped off of it. He got into it pretty good.
He's slow on the track. I'm sure he'll be trying to make it to pit road here this time by. Smoke rolling out from underneath the fenders.
Tough break for Bubba. What an outstanding year, though. Got to victory lane at Martinsville. You see the right front tire is down on that Camping World Good Sam Toyota.
About to lose the shell of that right front. And caution comes out once again.
And Phil, I can't. That's a tough break for Bubba here, but I just was so impressed with the job he did at Martinsville. He had Ty Dillon just roughing him up on that restart, almost into the outside wall, but he kept fighting, and he was able to fend him off and grab that victory on the short track. What an amazing job he did.
This was about 5 laps ago. A little contact there. Austin Dillon in the 6, Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 54.
See, Bubba was down on the inside trying to make the move on the bottom. They made contact, and you wonder if maybe that developed a little bit of a slow leak, and into the outside wall he goes.
Yeah. Now he can get a fresh tire on that thing. I don't think it hit hard enough to really do a lot of damage.
He was already back in the throttle, but you can hear now, I believe that tire went down maybe at the last second there.
I think he can make enough repairs to still be competitive. He was running inside the top 10.
Does the fender cover that right front, though? Or is that going to be coming down on it when he gets into the turns?
I think he'll be all right there. The team will pull that out and work on it.
Yeah, he'll be able to come back. They're working on it right now, and he can come back in the pits, too, to continue to work on that truck. These trucks are pretty tough.
They are, and we talked about the fact that these teams will continue to come to pit road for fresh tires because they're so important. So maybe Bubba can rebound from this, but that job he did at Martinsville was an amazing fight, and he was rewarded with a giant grandfather clock that I know he's really proud of, and for the rest of his career he'll think about that day.
You helped him put it in his apartment, didn't you?
Yeah, we carried it up the stairs.
There's 70 laps to go. They're going to have to make another pit stop. Even if they come to pit road now, there's still another pit stop out there looming.
We got to come. We got to put tires on. We're almost halfway through our next run here.
Do you do 2 tires or do you 4 tires?
4. Everybody's going to do 4.
4 tires on this stop. Ryan Blaney once again leading the field onto pit road. Bob.
It'll be no adjustments for the 62 of Brendan Gaughan as he comes to the attention of his crew on pit road. They take the right side tires off. It will be a 4-tire stop for Brendan Gaughan. Too tight in traffic, but that's because of the aero dependency of these trucks, right?
Kyle Busch said his truck is much better, but it still wasn't great aerodynamically. They're going to put a round in the right rear. They pull a tear off for him and hang 4 tires and give it Sunoco fuel. Hermie?
Our champion Matt Crafton hits his pit box. His truck is a little bit tight through the center. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. The 29 of Blaney was loose on the beginning of that run. Make 4 tires a track bar adjustment, and he will lose the battle off pit road to Kyle Busch.
Huge pickup by Kyle Busch. 3 positions and to the front of the field coming off of pit road. That's how close it was. Even though Ryan Blaney had that first pit stall, the crew did a better job for Busch.
Kim's barely holding on.
It's Kim Lopez up on the flag stand.
When the trucks come by, it about takes her down from there. That's a fun job there. I like that.
Pretty windy out too today.
Yeah.
Bob Dillner, what'd they do to that 77 truck?
Well, he's definitely climbing through this field right now. He started 20th, and Herman Quiroga is up to 8th. He's cracked the top 10. His crew chief, Dan Stillman, told me, little loose, little tight. You know him, but we changed 4 tires, and he likes his truck. He's coming through the field, Ray.
Hey, Bob, James Busher and Jeb Burton got together coming down the front straightaway, caved the front nose in a little bit on that number 31, so they've spent a good bit of time in the pit area here trying to repair that Rheem Chevrolet. James Busher said his truck got really, really tight after that damage on the left front corner.
During the 13 of Frank Kimmel was too fast on pit road, so he'll have to serve that penalty.
What about our man Ross Chastain? He started up the top 5, fell all the way back to the back half of the top 20 or top 15 or so, and now he's worked his way back into the side top 10. What did he do on pit road? Wonder what kind of adjustments he's made, because that truck's way better.
It is way better too. Now he's getting closer to some clean air too, so could get better as he gets closer to the front.
And you know what I liked as he marched his way back through the field? He was running the bottom of the racetrack. He could do some of those things that we saw Ryan Blaney do late in the run, what we saw Matt Crafton do early in the run, and gain some spots back that way.
You know, there may be a point where so many people are running up against the outside wall, they'll get slick up there, and on the bottom of the racetrack will be the place to be.
Ray, what else is happening with that 19?
Well, guys, they made a track bar adjustment the first time they pitted on lap number 6, but Ross said it wasn't nearly enough. So this last time they took a much bigger swing at it, raised the track bar 3 rounds, and made a big air pressure adjustment on the right side. Hermie Sadler?
Ray, the 3 of Ty Dillon lost all his track position. The jack broke on this most recent pit stop, came in top 5 right now, 21st on this restart. Tough break for the 3.
How about the fact that we're past the halfway point already?
Yeah,
this one's going fast.
And that may be something that will be tough to overcome this entire race here for Ty Dillon right now, being shown in the 20th, 21st spot.
Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney up in row number 1.
I was okay with falling to the back early in the going, but you're right, Phil. We're getting deep into this baby, and it's so hard to pass. You better have a truck that works good on the bottom of the track if you're going to come from the back, because all the other trucks will be up top.
And he's going to need some help. He's going to need some well-timed caution flags to make up that gap.
Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney making up row number 1. Green flag back in the air. Kyle Busch, a race leader, chose the outside line. Ryan Blaney on the inside.
We saw how good Ryan was on that last restart from the bottom, and he may wrestle that lead away from Kyle Busch.
Trying to keep the momentum up. The 51 of Kyle Busch behind that 29 as they come out onto the backstretch, side by side for the lead again.
He liked a foot having that spot away from Kyle, and he didn't get it.
Here comes Matt Crafton now, trying to take second away from Ryan Blaney.
That slides up the racetrack, opens up the bottom for Blaney. They stay side by side at exit.
At the stripe, it's Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton, Ryan Blaney, Jeb Burton, and Ron Hornaday, your top 5.
How about Ron Hornaday in the 6th Turner Scott Motorsports truck running up in the top 5? I was talking to some of the guys down there, and they said everybody that had a pulse that worked at Turner Scott Motorsports is working tonight with all these trucks.
And look at Hornaday go. He cleared Burton off turn 2. Now he's going to try to grab his way around Ryan Blaney and take the 3rd spot away.
How amazing is this for Ron Hornaday? This is the 8th different team he has driven for in the Camping World Truck Series, and he's battling for a top 5 spot.
And he's been fast for each and every team.
Kyle Busch out front. Matt Crafton running second. Ryan Blaney, Ron Hornaday, Jeb Burton, your top 5.
Hornaday is able to make the pass on Ryan Blaney, now moves him up to 3rd.
One of those teams he drove for, Rick, he had 1 start for Express Motorsports. You know where he finished? First.
Right here at this racetrack.
So don't put anything past our man Ron Hornaday. He's going for the 2nd spot.
And he is about to take it away, and now the momentum comes back to the 88 and the 29. Both of them get by that 34 as they enter the turn.
What a move by Ryan Blaney. He saw an opportunity. Those guys got seized up a little bit side by side, and Ryan took advantage of it.
He went into turn 3 running 4th, and he came off turn 2 running 2nd.
We've seen this before. Ryan Blaney, who'd been out front, got passed on a restart. Then as the run kept going, that 29 got stronger and stronger and stronger, and now he's trying to reel that 51 back in.
Bit of a wiggle right there in the center of the corner.
But Kyle, since the restart, Rick, has been dedicated to the bottom of the road. See if he keeps it down there as these guys start to line up and catch him. A little bit higher that lap, but the lap before he was right on the bottom of the track.
The gap closing between the top 2. Kyle Busch, just a half a second lead over Ryan Blaney.
Ryan had the fastest lap that last lap, down under 33 seconds at a 32.88.
The momentum staying with that 29 as he runs the high line. Matt Crafton back there in 3rd. That time by 0.4 of a second. Made up a 1/10 of a second on your race leader.
Again, the fastest truck on the racetrack that lap. But he can't shake that 88 of Matt Crafton.
Matt Crafton staying strong. Clinched the championship when he strapped into that truck before the green flag even flew.
And Blaney and Crafton just drafted right up to the back of Kyle Busch, and both of them are looking to the inside of him.
3 racing for the lead.
3 wide for the lead, past halfway. That's how we do it in the trucks.
Kyle Busch on the outside. Blaney now trying to move down the track, but the 88 is there. Crafton going for the lead as they go into 1.
What great racing here. Unbelievable.
Was 4 wide coming this way?
Here comes Hornaday looking to the inside. 4 wide as they come off of turn 2.
The spotters say 4 wide. The drivers can't believe it.
And guess who's going to enter this battle? The 4 of Jeb Burton. Kyle Busch back out in front. Ryan Blaney running second. Crafton is third. Hornaday is fourth. They spread back out to the point where they're single file. A lap ago, they were 4 wide.
That 62 of Brendan Gaughan's joining this battle as well. His truck gets better and better.
We know how good he is on the long run. I was going to say that, Phil, and he is showing it now, joining this 5-way battle for the lead.
There they go again. Trying to run down that 51 of Kyle Busch. Crafton running in the third spot. He takes the lowest line around the track. Blaney stays up against the wall. The fight for second is on.
I tell you, these guys are being able to make some ground up on the bottom of the racetrack. That really bodes well for the rest of the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be an amazing weekend. We've got a great championship battle tomorrow in the Nationwide Series, and then Sunday the Cup finale is going to be huge to see if Jimmy Johnson can clinch his 6th championship. Last 2 races here finished outside the top 30, 20.
Doesn't want to do that Sunday.
33rd and 32nd. Bad.
Battle for the lead once again. Here comes Ryan Blaney in the 29. That truck continues to get stronger as the runs get longer.
Look at Kyle Busch kind of trying to ease over and side draft Ryan Blaney, grab some air away from him, but Blaney's not having any of that. He's got a fast truck and drives around Busch.
Wow, and opens up about 2-3 truck lengths over Kyle Busch.
Ryan Blaney back to the front. Kyle Busch holding on to second, but here comes the 88 of Matt Crafton, looking to take that second spot away.
Not able to do it. He said, if Ryan Blaney can do it, I can do it. Wasn't able to make it happen that lap. Now Hornaday's going to jump to the inside. That Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff truck.
He had a little help from the 4 of Jeff Burton. It's not going to be enough to be able to get by that 88 of Crafton. Crafton's going to stay in front of him as they come out of the turn.
Everybody just wants to finish that pass, don't they? Want to move up the hill, but they just can't quite pull it off. Crafton's able to hang tough and keep that spot away from Hornaday.
Now Hornaday with a run. The bottom of the track gets right up on the back bumper of Matt Crafton.
Well, the guy that's able to make that move, drive all the way down to the bottom and clear that truck in front of him is the guy that's going to be strong. We saw Ryan Blaney do it to Kyle Busch just a couple laps ago.
28 trucks still on the lead lap. Blaney, Busch, Crafton, Hornaday, Burton, your top 5. And it's Brendan Gaughan, Herman Quiroga, Johnny Sauter, Ross Chastain, and Austin Dillon, your top 10. At 51 of Kyle Busch, looking strong on the high line. Does he have enough to get by the 29, Ray?
Well, here's the problem, Rick. When he comes off of the corner on 2 and on 4, his truck gets a little bit tight, and he says he can't get back to the gas the way he would like to. He believes this is an issue about downforce and body location. Obviously, they've been making adjustments on that Toyota Tundra, but so far, that's not enough. When you got an aero problem, that's pretty tough to fix.
Guys are battling hard. You can see Jeb Burton trying to grab that spot away from Hornaday.
He's going to take it. He comes into the mix now. He'll get on the back bumper of that 88 of Matt Crafton and try to take third away.
There's Brendan Gaughan, that South Point Chevrolet. He's right on the back bumper of Hornaday. Now he's 40 feet wider than Hornaday. Hornaday down on the bottom.
Hornaday trying to take the spot back away from Jeff Burton. He tries the low line.
What a battle.
This top 5 has been pretty amazing, and then you add Brendan Gaughan, who's running in the 6th spot, into the mix. Ryan Blaney in front. Kyle Busch giving chase. Blaney looking to end up the season in victory lane. Welcome back to Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's the Ford EcoBoost 200 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. 47 laps remain in this season finale. Ryan Blaney still out front. Blaney has led 62 laps of the 87 that have been completed. Matt Crafton's also been out front for a few. Kyle Busch and Johnny Sauter, your other lap leaders.
Isn't it crazy in this sport? Trucks especially. He's led 63 of 88 laps, dominating, right? How hard has he had to battle to be the dominant truck? Sideways, 4 wide at one point. He's just been able just to barely propel himself in front of the competition, but there's a lot of racing left to go.
These longer runs seem to work in his favor. If it works out, it's going to end up being a short run after green flag pit stops, which might work against him.
We've seen a lot of short runs to the checkers and the last restart determining who's winning the race. Just think about the last race at Phoenix when Chastain drove around our eventual winner, but yet Eric Jones was persistent and got back by him. A big lead change late in the going.
Ty Dillon continues to try to rebound from that misfire on pit road. Had a jack brake, restarted right around 20th spot now. He's trying to get by the 7 of John West Townley. That is a battle for the 11th spot. But the problem is he finds himself 9 seconds behind our leader as we have a great side-by-side battle for 3rd.
Jeb Burton looks to take the spot away from that 88 of Matt Crafton.
Jeb turned her in there hard, didn't he? Got a little bit sideways on the entry, but was committed to put a slide job on Crafton if he needed to. Matt backed out. Jeb got the spot.
This longer green flag run means that we're getting some slower lap traffic that are going to come into play. Ryan Blaney's been able to get by a few of the trucks.
DJ Kennington down to the bottom of the track, going a lap down. These trucks did the wave around, Phil, got back on the lead lap, trying to hope for a quick caution. It didn't come, so they'll also have to come to pit road soon.
Yeah, very, very soon here. They last pitted on lap number 42.
Jeb Burton working the high side, trying to get by Kennington as Matt Crafton goes down low.
DJ Kennington isn't used to getting lapped. He wins a lot of races in short track Canada style championships as well.
Going by BJ McLeod. There's the number 78 on the left side of your screen to the left of Matt Crafton. 42 laps remain.
In the season, I'm so sad. I love watching trucks race. Fox Sports 1 does such a great job. Thanks to everybody that works on these truck broadcasts for letting us have so much fun up here watching these boys race.
How about that battle for the leads closing up now? Kyle Busch has been the fastest truck the last 2 laps, faster than that 29 of Ryan Blaney. What's going on with that 51, Ray?
Well, Phil, his truck is fast, but he's very concerned because water temperature has been slowly climbing. It's up to 245 right now, and they're worried that they may have a piece of debris on the grill. You remember at Texas, they got some stuff in the grill, and that truck went up in flames, so they're concerned about it, keeping an eye on it. A high water temperature for Kyle Busch. Hermie?
Well, Ray, the 29 started out on the free side, and as it did last run, starting to snug up just a little bit. The biggest concern right now in the 29 pit is they're saying be careful where you catch lap traffic on this racetrack. 29's in the wall.
Ryan Blaney into the wall. The 51 goes by.
Caution, caution, caution.
And the caution will come out.
And that just
wall or something happened.
Just got in the wall.
He was running that high line.
Both he and Kyle, the 2 fastest trucks, were literally, Rick, 6 inches off the wall. No margin for error. And Ryan slipped up into the wall, only fell back to 3rd. He's going to lose some time on this pit stop, though, bud.
Yeah, and we saw Ty Dillon only able to get to the 11th spot. You can't give up too many positions, but they are going to have to take a little bit of time, I think, to make sure the tire is clear. But he only fell back to about the 3rd spot.
40 laps to go when they come to pit road. We take another look at what happened with the 29. Right up into the wall he goes.
Just a little bit too high. They're running within inches of the wall anyway. Just overdid it just a little bit.
You could see both he and Kyle Busch right out next to the outside wall. Ryan just by a hair jumps that cushion, gets his truck into the outside wall. Now he's another Rookie of the Year competitor who's had a problem tonight, and he's leading the points.
Pit road is still closed, so the field falling in behind the pace truck.
Intense action, running that hard, that fast, that close to the wall. That can happen so easy.
So Ryan Blaney gets into the wall. That allows Kyle Busch to get by. Jeb Burton also getting by.
On the lap before that, Jeb got around Matt Crafton and grabbed the 3rd spot, and now he's up to 2nd.
So Ryan Blaney will have to have a little bit of work done to the right side of that truck when he comes onto pit road. We would expect this to be the final pit stop as they're inside their window now with 39 laps to go.
You see the damage. You see that splitter is askew a little bit on the right front of that Cooper Standard Ford.
Phil, you talked about Busch had begun to close on Blaney a bit, so I'm sure Ryan was just trying to find a little bit more grip, a little bit higher, and got into the wall.
So the laps winding down on the 2013 season. Your top 5: Kyle Busch, Jeb Burton, Ryan Blaney, Matt Crafton. Brendan Gaughan has worked his way up into the top 5. And at the drop of the green flag, they said go for it in this race. He'll be the first one on pit road, or at least stopped on pit road, as the field now makes that hard left turn. We go to Bob Dillner.
Only one top 10 finish in 7 Homestead races for Brendan Gaughan. He rides 5th right now. That truck just way too tight. They're going to go up on the rear track bar to try to get him to turn a little bit better in the center of the corner. 4 tires, right?
Arguments for Kyle Busch. They're going to put 2 rounds in the left rear, 1 in the right rear. They get a tear off. They'll try to clean the grill real quick. They'll put 4 tires on it and gas, but they don't need to wait very long. How about Burton and Blaney?
What a drive for Jeb Burton. He started 15th. He is second. He wants no adjustments. It'll be 4 tires, Sunoco fuel on that number 4 truck. Ryan Blaney, same thing, 4 tires, a track bar adjustment, and they're pulling out some fender damage on the right side. Lengthy stop for the 29.
Brendan Gaughan gets off pit road 4th.
But his teammate Ross Chastain elects to take 2 tires and grabs the lead.
He needed some track position. He worked his way up into the top 10. He's got it now.
A big gamble for Ross Chastain, looking for his first win in the Camping World Truck Series while his teammate was into the wall. Welcome back to Homestead-Miami Speedway as championship week continues. The Camping World Truck Series title has been determined, but who will end up in victory lane? Ross Chastain took a gamble on pit road, only 2 tires. He is able to come off pit road first. 5 different drivers have been out front. 10 times the lead has changed hands. Herbie Sadler.
Rick, Matt Crafton came down pit road to take 4 tires. Lug nut fell off of the left rear wheel when they were trying to make that stop. A slow stop for the 88. He dropped from the top 5 back to 11th on this restart. Bob?
Herman Quiroga up to 6th now with that 77 truck and looking pretty good. His crew chief Dan Stillman says be on your toes on this restart. The 19 truck only took 2 tires. Look out, his best finish in the Camping World Truck Series is 3rd twice.
Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch out in front of this field. Jeb Burton, Brendan Gaughan making up row number 2. Then it's Ron Hornaday, Herman Quiroga in row 3.
Hornaday's been very aggressive, Rick.
Back there in row number 5, Ty Dillon and John West Townley. Field all in line behind Chastain and Kyle Busch as they come out of turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. Great restart for that 51 of Kyle Busch. He has the advantage going into turn number 1. 3 wide behind him for 3rd.
How about Hornaday jumping up there trying to battle for 3rd and maybe 2nd?
Hornaday looking to get by Ross Chastain as they go down the backstretch. They're door to door.
Hornaday will have the advantage on those 4 tires on the bottom of the track when they get down here. Take that spot away from Chastain.
Ross is going to fight back on the outside. Ron's not going to be able to clear him.
What a great turn by Ross.
Fighting hard on the high side of this racetrack. 19 of Ross Chastain up to 2nd. Hornaday staying on that low line.
Ross is hanging tough on the outside. Hornaday's making a run at him on the bottom. Can't do anything with him.
Here comes that 62 of Brendan Gaughan. He's up into the top 4 now. Looking to the high side. He'll see if he can get by Hornaday.
Look at Brendan go. Drives it hard up the hill. You can see that truck bobbling as he works through the corner.
Able to take the advantage away from Hornaday. He's up to 3rd. And behind him into the wall. The 21. That is Spencer Gallagher that gets into the wall. So the caution comes out once again.
Takes Mason Mingus with him. Mingus into the wall, or Gallagher won. Ooh.
And involved in this, the 9.
Nelson
Piquet Jr.
That truck looked a whole lot like
that.
that.
Doesn't know where to go.
After Phoenix.
After a
Not
Phoenix
your
race.
fault, bud. Spot out.
Heard him say, had nowhere to go. Trucks are going to be directed to pit road as the incident took place on the front stretch. Spencer Gallagher in the 21. He'll be climbing out of his truck as the safety crew has got to him.
Trucks coming down pit road will give the emergency workers time to attend to Spencer Gallagher, as well as clean up that front straightaway.
Look at all that oil coming out from the front of Gallagher's truck. That's spread all over the track, so this could be a lengthy cleanup.
A great sign as the driver is about to climb out.
Something you never take for granted, but man, NASCAR and the tracks have done such a great job of making these events safer than they've ever been. Evident by that huge crash we saw earlier that Hornaday had at Phoenix. And now a big crash here at Homestead-Miami.
Look up at the top of your screen. Fighting for position. It looks as though
Gallagher gets loose
and overcorrects.
And I think right into the wall.
Yeah, absolutely nowhere to go for the 9 of PK.
Thought I saw Mason Mingus with a little bit of damage, but I think Mingus made it through.
Watch again. This is on board with Darrell Wallace Jr.
Boy, PK absolutely had no time to do anything other than just ride it out. He was right there behind Gallagher, and he spun up in front of him.
Gallagher took a shot in the outside wall and into the side from PK. Double whammy.
So Spencer Gallagher has made his way out of the truck and into the ambulance. He'll make a trip to the infield care center. Be checked out. It's our 5th caution of the night, but still out front. Kyle Busch. And welcome back. The final laps of the 2013 season. Winding down for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. 30 to go. This wreck slowing the field once again. It was Spencer Gallagher in the 21. Got a little bit loose. And then nowhere to go for the 9 of Nelson Piquet Jr. He gets caught up in this.
A lot of the other drivers did a nice job avoiding that incident.
Austin Dillon running back in the 7th spot, Bob.
He's been as far back as 10th during this race, and honestly everybody thought Austin Dillon would have a much better truck, but that truck has been on the splitter in the corners, and because of that, when that splitter gets on the ground, it just won't allow that truck to turn in the corners like Austin wants it to. So that's what he's been battling back in that 7th spot. Hermie.
Well, Bob, the 4 of Jeb Burton has been talking ever since the caution came out about how to handle this restart. He was a little bit upset with Ron Hornaday on the last restart. Felt like Ron got down on the bottom of the racetrack and really took the air off his truck and caused him some problems. So this time around, he looks like he will be starting on the outside, and he feels like that'll give him a better opportunity to get a good stop, a good restart, and also maintain his track positions. Also quick to note, on my end of pit road, we talked about the 3 of Ty Dillon was outside the top 20 after a broken jack on the last pit stop. He has worked his way back up now to the 6th position by not only passing a few trucks, but dodging a few wrecks as well. Ray?
Hermie, Ross Chastain said he was fighting traffic and fighting an aero issue. They were back in 9th when we pitted on lap number 96. Chad Kendrick, his crew chief, decided to go right side tires only, and that gave him the lead. The problem was on the restart, he spun his tires just a little bit. Kyle Busch was able to get by him, but he believes their truck is very, very good. They like this call, giving them some track position, and now they just said, now it's in the driver's hands. Go get them.
Go get them. I love that words of advice.
And I'm pretty sure that people are going to continue to get upset as this race winds down on restarts.
NASCAR Race Day fueled by Sunoco. The final one of 2013 as they will get you ready for a great championship battle. Jimmy Johnson has a 28-point lead over Matt Kenseth and a 34-point lead over Kevin Harvick. Johnson's magic number, 23rd. As you mentioned before, he's finished outside of that position a few times recently.
The last two trips here, he's finished in the 30s. So certainly with Matt Kenseth grabbing the pole, it's going to be a dramatic day on Sunday.
Can he get the 6-pack? That's Jimmy Johnson right here. Who's going to get to victory lane? Stay with us. Cleanup continuing, where Spencer Gallagher got into the wall in turn number 4 and then came across the front stretch. spread a little bit of fluid on the track. They continue to clean that up. We're getting ready for the field to go 2x2 once again. Kyle Busch out in front. Does anybody have anything for that driver?
There's Timothy Peters right here. Timothy's running in the 14th position. You know, Ross Chastain talked about spinning his tires on that last restart. There's Ross right there. And when you have hot tires, Michael, you're more liable to do that than you are when you have cold tires, new tires like Kyle Busch had. Now they're pretty equal footing for this restart.
Yeah, and once he shook out there and got over spinning his tires, he stabilized in second. So it'll be interesting. You talked about having a great truck. It'll be interesting to see if he can hang with them. This is a guy that's had some problems tonight.
But he will get the free pass, so he will be back on the lead lap for Bubba Wallace.
Right in the hunt for the Rookie of the Year fight.
Matt Crafton really strong early in the going, but now he's dropped back to the 13th spot as we ride along with Matt. But guess what? He's completed every lap tonight, Rick.
He has.
Shouldn't be a surprise, though.
Should know. Running 13th. And that number 88.
Not only has he completed every lap tonight, he's completed every lap all year long.
It's been consistency that has put him up in front and has claimed the championship for him. 19 of the 21 races run, he's finished in the top 10.
Don't count a top 10 out for him this race either.
Field goes 2x2 once again. Kyle Busch chooses the inside line for a second time. Ross Chastain will be outside of him. Brendan Gaughan will be on the inside of row number 2. Brendan Gaughan looking strong here as we wind down these final 25 laps.
We've seen trucks from that third position get a good run on these restarts and maybe be able to pull down to the inside as they enter turn number 1. Kyle Busch is going to be aware of that, so he will try to block that as well as try to worry about the 19 of Chastain.
And look at Ty Dillon. He's up to that 6th spot. He's on the outside, and he's got a very strong truck. He's made his way back from a problem on pit road. Look for him to be a contender. You can pick any one of those trucks in those first 3 rows and feel like that they got a shot to win. And I really like Burton's truck. He's in the 4th spot. He's been strong all night.
And Ron Hornaday has impressed me in that 34 truck. His first start with Turner Scott Motorsports, and he's up into the 5th position.
Yeah, you give him one of these tow trucks in the infield, he's going to run competitively.
Well, remember when Ty Bodine got in one of those trucks at Pocono and had a shot to win the race? Those are good trucks. You take champions like Ty Bodine and Ron Hornaday, like Phil said, they're going to figure a way to get up front.
Spencer Gallagher has been checked and released from the infield care center. He brought out our most recent caution, and we're getting ready for the green flag once again. Randy Kaiser takes the pace truck back onto pit road. The field back in the hands of Kyle Busch. Ross Chastain on his outside. Green flag back in the air.
Ross spun his tires again. Lost a truck length. Couple spots already.
Good restart for Brendan Gaughan. He's holding on to second now. Here comes Hornaday. Look at the inside.
Look at Jeb Burton. He's going to go in the middle and around Chastain as well.
25 laps to go. Kyle Busch in front. Brendan Gaughan second. Now here comes the 34 of Hornaday. Look at the inside again. Austin Dillon in the 6, trying to make the move on the high side of Hornaday.
How about that 62 of Brendan Gaughan? He's chasing down that 51 truck.
It's been a while since he's been to victory lane in a truck. He's been really close and really fast, and we talked about how good his truck is here at Miami. And look at him go.
155 starts since Brendan Gaughan has been to victory lane in the Camping World Trucks.
10 years or so, right?
10 years.
How about Austin Dillon now on that 6th truck for Sharp Gallagher, running side by side with Brendan Gaughan.
That's the 3rd start of the season for Austin Dillon in the trucks. His first start, he went to victory lane at Eldora.
Boy, if you started on that outside row on that start there, you caught a bad break. When Ross Chastain didn't get going, the inside lane just blitzed those guys on the outside.
Here comes the 6 of Austin Dillon. 2nd place now. He takes it away from Brendan Gaughan. Bob Dillner.
Austin Dillon from nearly out of nowhere to contend for the win here. He is going to the inside of leader Kyle Busch right there. I asked Jerry Kinnan, his crew chief, what happened? I thought you were hitting the splitter. He said that guy is up on the wheel right now.
He is that.
Those two separated by 12 1/1000ths of a second when they crossed the stripe.
Remember, Sharp Gallagher won this race with Cale Gale last year. Austin's trying to get him back to victory lane, and he's got the lead.
Austin Dillon takes the top spot away from Kyle Busch. A great battle for the third spot behind him. Jeb Burton on the inside of Brendan Gaughan. Gaughan goes to the high side. Kyle Busch running in the middle of the track, second now.
How about Austin Dillon wanting a little more track time as he tries to win a nationwide championship tomorrow? What better way to do it than maybe get to victory lane tonight?
Yeah, when he was running back outside the top 10 with a Dragon splitter, I bet he was thinking, I don't know if I need this kind of experience. But now look at him. He's leading the race.
Comes Ryan Blaney trying to make his way back up into the top 10. Right now just outside the top 10. And there's Matt Crafton also trying to get his way back up into the top 10.
Matt Crafton running on the outside of Ryan Blaney in that 29. Chasing after Miguel Paludo in the 32.
Max Gresham into the outside wall in that 8 truck.
Gresham continues at speed. Battle for the lead. Here comes Kyle Busch again. Look at the inside of Austin Dillon.
Don't expect Kyle Busch to be happy with running second.
We talked about Austin Dillon up on the wheel. Don't you know Kyle Busch is going to be up on the wheel as well? And there he goes.
They're all up on the wheel as we have 20 laps to go. Kyle Busch back in front of the field. Austin Dillon running second. Jeb Burton is third. Brendan Gaughan fourth. Here comes Austin Dillon for the lead on the inside.
See Kyle Busch move over to try to side draft him. Austin has him cleared for a moment.
What a great racetrack. So many different grooves. Dillon back in front now. Kyle Busch to the back bumper.
See if Kyle drops back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Look, he's going to stay high this time. Let's see Brendan use the bottom of the racetrack.
Searching for grip. Brendan Gaughan goes to the bottom of the track trying to get by Jeb Burton. Burton with the momentum. Holds on to third. Austin Dillon in front of Kyle Busch.
Kyle's going to go back down to the bottom, down in 1 and 2. He pulls up even with Austin.
Phil, I think the huge advantage that the high side had early in this race might have gone away now. Like you said, those trucks running up there put some rubber down. I believe it's evened out. Maybe the bottom's a little bit better now.
Kyle Busch with the advantage as they enter turn 3.
He's able to make that move. You see Brendan Gaughan side by side with Jeb Burton for third.
Look at the run that Jeb has. Can he pull to the inside of Dillon?
He's going to stay on his back bumper as they go into turn number 1. But Dillon's going to go to the inside and try to take the lead back away from Kyle Busch.
That huge draft push that Burton gave to Dillon gave him a shot to get down on the inside of Kyle Busch. Oh, and they're rubbing.
Little bumping now as they go down the back stretch and into turn 3. Kyle Busch tried to come down. The 6 of Austin Dillon there. 2 by 2 for the top 4 spots.
Look at the run now. Jeb Burton, look at all the momentum he has. Pulls beside of Austin.
Jeb Burton trying to take second away from Austin Dillon as they go to turn number 1. He'll get that spot. Austin Dillon almost into the wall as they go through the turn.
What about Burton? He takes second away and then drives up and catches Kyle Busch. What a turn for Jeb Burton.
16 laps remain. Jeb Burton trying to take the lead away from Kyle Busch.
Well, that inside's looking better and better, isn't it? Jeb not able to do it that time. He got it beside him.
Look at that crew cheering their rookie on.
Up on the wall, cheering on Jeb Burton as he goes by. Kyle Busch with a 3-truck length lead, but that's just for a moment because the momentum of that number 4 of Jeb Burton has been impressive.
I'll tell you who's making a run. I don't know if he's going to run out of time or not, but that's that 3 truck of Ty Dillon. He drove around Ron Hornaday the last lap. Now he's driving around Johnny Sauter.
As you mentioned, he got a bad break on that restart. Remember, he was in 6th on that restart. Ross Chastain seized up the outside line. Ty fell back to about 8th or 9th.
He passed 2 trucks on that lap, and the lap before he was the fastest truck on the track. Can he get there in time, though?
This time by, it was race leader Kyle Busch fastest around the 1.5 miles. Jeb Burton running second. He's 0.4 of a second back. Austin Dillon third. Brendan Gaughan fourth. Herman Quiroga up into the top 5.
What about job by Herman Quiroga?
What about we talked about eventual or first-time potential winners, and Armand was on that list. He's proven he belongs on that list, driving up in the top 5 in that blue truck.
There's Armand in the blue 77.
Not for a rough restart. Ty Dillon, I think, has something for all these boys. He's right behind Quiroga.
Looking off impressive lap times. Ron Quiroga and Ty Dillon. 13 to go, getting close to the final 10 laps of the 2013 season. A little bobble there by Kyle Busch.
I thought Kyle was going to get into the wall there, as we talked about earlier. He and Ryan Blaney, the truck's running the highest on the racetrack.
Now Jeb Burton's closed the gap once again, all over the back bumper of that 51 of Kyle Busch.
These guys are right on the edge of control, right on the edge of the track. One bobble and you're into that wall, and it can cost you a chance to win the race. We saw it happen to race leader Ryan Blaney. Can these guys be perfect these last 12 laps?
1 year ago, it was Kyle Busch who was in front of Cale Gale coming out of turn number 4 on the last lap. Oh, it looks like Austin Dillon may have had issues as he slows down. Might have got into the wall.
He almost hit the wall. You don't see any damage to the right side of that truck, but he almost got the wall. Is it going to open the door for Quiroga to grab fourth?
Quiroga trying to take that spot away.
Brendan Gaughan has been able to get by to take over that third spot in the 62 truck. Now Quiroga has fourth.
Quiroga's in a hurry to leave here and go to Las Vegas and run a marathon. I'm not sure I understand that strategy, but man, what a great run up to the fourth spot.
Austin Dillon trying to keep the momentum up now as he falls back behind Ron Quiroga. Kyle Busch with a 0.3 of a second lead over Jeb Burton. Now as they cross the stripe, 10 laps of racing to go.
Burton's able just to hang just a little bit lower than Busch on entry of the corner, maybe just trying to get some air on the nose of his truck so that he can get some grip. But that line that Kyle's running on the extreme high side of the track is paying off so far.
What have you learned? What kind of strategy do you play out here in the final 10 laps for Jeb Burton?
You just have to watch every move that Kyle makes and understand that he's going to be right next to the wall and eventually see if there's anything for you on the bottom. We've seen some passes made down there. See if there's any way you can dive to the bottom maybe once or twice here with 7-8 to go and not lose any ground at least.
He needs to gain a little bit here. He can't do anything from 4 truck lengths back. He needs to get a little bit closer.
Inside of 9. Kyle Busch, 0.4 of a second still as they go down the backstretch and into turn 3.
Those guys are running at identical times lap after lap. And look at the brothers battling for 5th.
Austin once again right up against the wall. Ty Dillon in the 3. Look to the inside, now back behind him.
Ty's going to return the favor. He's going to be in the nationwide race tomorrow as well as Austin.
Matt Crafton, the 2013 champion, running behind the 19 of Ross Chastain, and Cale Gale back here, last year's winner in the 33.
And there's the 31 of James Busch, our last year's champion, right behind that 3-way battle.
Inside of 8 laps to go. And the 4 of Jeb Burton maybe pushing it a little too hard, got into the wall.
You can see the damage to that Arrowhead truck.
Probably just lost his momentum. Maybe not enough damage to keep him from holding on to the second spot. But Phil, he's rubbed that right side up pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good bit of damage on that Ford truck. You see Brendan Gaughan trying to chase him down to take over that second spot.
Take another look. Look how close he was to Kyle Busch, and then just into the wall.
Look, just like Ryan Blaney, that's how hard these guys are giving it out here.
And that's how tough these rookies we have are. They know they've got to give it everything they got to beat Kyle Busch. Our 3 top rookie contenders have made the same mistake and slipped into the wall. That shows you how hard they're trying and how much they want it.
Brendan Gaughan trying to take advantage
that
of that
drive into the wall by Jeb Burton came right after a command from the pit box. It's time to go, 8 to go, and Jeb just came on the radio and said, just tried too hard to catch him. Sorry, guys. Now they're going to try to just salvage a top 5 out of this.
So Jeb Burton trying to hang on as the laps wind down. Brendan Gaughan up to second. Does he have enough time? He's 2.5 seconds back from Kyle Busch.
I think he's going to need some help. He's going to need a caution flag. We have 5 laps to go right now. I don't think Brendan can catch him on his own. It took him too long to get by the 4.
Austin Dillon way up against the wall again in the 6. Ty Dillon just behind him.
Right now the Quiroga in that blue car up in the 4th spot. He may have something for Jeb Burton. Jeb's truck a little bit crippled now after that contact with the wall.
And Quiroga hasn't been running that extreme high line, so maybe if Jeb slips out,
Jeb's going to get the wall again.
There he goes.
Jeb Burton once again into the wall. Is that going to bring out a caution, or are we going to stay green?
plenty of room right here.
We stay green. Now the caution does come out. With 4 laps to go, the caution comes out. It's going to be a late race restart that's going to determine our winner.
The Truck Series brings it every week. We see some exciting racing, and now we're going to see a sprint to the finish. It looked like Kyle had the fastest truck, but now they're going to close up on him.
More than likely, it's going to be a green-white checker finish to the 2013 season.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get the field corralled behind the pace truck in time, so it'll be a green-white checker. I know it's not something Kyle Busch wanted. He had a comfortable lead here, but see, Jeb, I think that tire was starting to go down. It may not have blown out, but I think it was deflating.
And up into the wall, he rode all the way around the turn into that wall, and Kyle Busch's crew did not want to see a caution come out. He had a 2.5-second lead over second place Brendan Gaughan. That has been erased.
You can see that right front tire, Phil. Like you said, it's flat. And Rick, like you said, the lead is gone. We're going to have to survive a restart here.
We've seen Brendan Gaughan on the high side, or we've seen Brendan Gaughan run the low side. What does Kyle Busch choose on this restart to have the advantage?
I feel like even though they've been running high lately, you're going to want that inside for that first turn. You get the jump on the outside guy and get to the first turn first. Maybe you can hold him off. I think Kyle would pick the bottom.
I think you can probably run that first and second corners on the restart wide open, and that'll be the shorter way around the racetrack.
Another key move on that last lap prior to the caution was it looked like Ty Dillon passed his brother Austin and grabbed that 4th spot. And we know how fast Ty Dillon's truck is, so if Kyle picks the outside, that would put Dillon behind him instead of Quiroga behind him. So that team spotter and everybody's talking about that strategy. Who do we want behind us? Not only whichever side we want.
A lot of strategy about to play out. Ray Dunlap.
Hey guys, not just where do you restart, but do you pit or do you not? Kyle Busch has said his tires are worn out and he's going to come to pits. Oh yeah, right, he's just faking them out. But here's the thing, there's 24 trucks on the lead lap and they expect some of the guys in the back to come down, which we're seeing that happen right now. So some guys are going to have fresh tires as we get ready to go green, white, checkered. Bob?
Brendan Gaughan has not won a Camping World Truck Series race since 2003. Since that time, he has finished second 6 times. Over the radio when that caution came out, he said, we got a chance to get a win. Let's get it, boys. Brendan Gaughan, a little pumped up in that 62 truck, Hermie.
Well, Bob, all the discussion on the radio with the 3 truck of Ty Dillon, end of the day, surrounded the 31 of James Buescher. Remember, they're racing Buescher for 3rd place in the points as well. He stayed on the racetrack because they thought Buescher may pit. They may be able to pick up some track position on the 31, Ray.
Hermie, you remember at lap 96, Ross Chastain came in for 2 tires. That strategy obviously didn't pay off. So Chad says, let's do the opposite of the leader. That meant they came to pit road and just put 4 fresh Goodyears on this watermelon race truck. We'll see if they're able to advance towards the front in these final few laps.
I think the top 9 trucks stayed out. Not the top 9 trucks stayed out, but there are 9 trucks that stayed out. So Ryan Blaney, I believe, won that race off pit road, and he will restart about in the 10th spot.
There's no way they can get to Kyle Busch in just 2 laps. So they can't win the race with that strategy, but boy, it's going to be fun to see how far they can get.
An incredible race for the top 5. Right now, the 4 of Jeb Burton has the top 5 position. He's in 5th. Brendan Gaughan 1 point behind him as they run on the track. The problem now is Jeb Burton was just called for speeding on pit road.
Plus, there's some damage to that truck, too, so it looks like Brennan might be able to grab that spot away. But, Phil, remember, we go multiple green-white checkers here, so if there's a problem on the first restart and all of a sudden those guys that have those tires catch a few spots and then the caution comes out again, the plot could change.
Yeah, it could.
Once again, immediately after the race, we've got Fox Sports Live to catch you up on all of the happenings around the world in sports. Our champion, the 88s of Matt Crafton, very strong once again. Hermie.
Well, Rick, you got to remember these guys are still trying to recover from a bad pit stop a couple stops ago when the lug nuts fell off of the left side, left rear wheel. So they came back down pit road and took 4 tires on this stop and going to hope for a great restart and a great couple laps. Remember, they are racing that 51 for honors points right down to the wire.
It is really tightened up right now. The gap is only 3 points over the 51 of Kyle Busch.
Wow.
They decided to make the trip onto pit road.
They got to win the Owners' Championship. It's been such a dominant season for Matt for the Drivers' Championship. He's got to bring that to his owners, and I know that's exactly what he's thinking right now. Pressure-packed restart, last couple of laps here.
Yeah, just 2 laps, potentially 2 laps if we stay with green, white checker. Bob Dillner.
Best finish by Erman Quiroga in NASCAR Camping World Truck Series competition.
Brendan's definitely just as fast as Kyle, and that truck on the second row there, Ty Dillon, he might be the fastest truck in the field. What a pressure-packed restart this is.
I don't know if you can be any hungrier for a win in the Camping World Truck Series than Brendan Gaughan. It's been 155 starts since he was in victory lane.
I talked to him right immediately before the race, and I said, he was walking with Shane Wilson, his crew chief. He said, I said, be a nice time to win this thing since you're going to Nationwide Series. He said, man, it sure would.
And just think, Kyle Busch has been passed for the win twice here on the last lap, and he's in a position to be leading on the last lap. Will he get past?
Erman Quiroga, Ty Dillon in row number 2. Then it's Austin Dillon and Johnny Sauter back in 3. Ryan Sieg, Timothy Peters there in row number 4. And Ryan Blaney, James Buescher making up row number 5. 2 by 2, they come out of turn number 4. Green flag back in the air.
What a great start by Kyle Busch. Look at these
Ryan Blaney.
Look at these new tires coming, boys.
Erman Quiroga looking to the inside of that 62 of Brendan Gaughan. 4 wide behind him for position.
Look like they got seized up behind Ryan Sieg in the 39 truck.
Oh, right on the wall.
Matt Crafton, I believe, is involved.
Joey Coulter is involved in it. As
Brendan
well
Newberry.
as the Brendan Newberry into the infield. And it looks as though Crafton does have damage. That could mean the Owners' Championship would go to Kyle Busch Motorsports.
There's a lot of damage to that truck. Obviously, he's just trying to get back. The steering's messed up. That's why he was riding the outside wall. So this is this definitely is going to make a Owners' Championship a challenge. We talked about multiple green-white checkers, and that's exactly what's happened here. Now there's guys with new tires that are within.
Getting closer, closer.
They're within a shot of winning this race now, Rick. We saw how fast they were coming. That's why the big crash,
right
the difference.
like I wasn't.
7th caution has come out.
He's able to steer that truck. That's a good sign, Phil.
Take a look. 4 wide.
You see that yellow truck? That's Matt Crafton. Joey Coulter's the 18 right in front of him. Max Gresham's going to try to get to the outside of Matt Crafton. He doesn't get there. Now Matt's going to move to the outside of Joey Coulter, and Joey's going to squeeze up just a little bit, and they make contact. Brendan Newberry got a bad break and got turned into the inside wall.
Yeah, he was the big loser in that mess. Or he hit the hardest. Crafton could be the biggest loser from this crash.
I don't think Joey Coulter realized that Matt Crafton had stuck his nose up beside his truck.
Let's ride along with the 88 of Crafton.
Oh, there goes Matt. When Matt committed to the outside, there was a hole there, and just about the time he committed, Joey moved up the racetrack just a little bit.
You know, Crafton hasn't come to pit road. I don't really understand that. Pit road's closed, but man, he's got a lot of damage. He can't just restart this race. I'd be getting to pit road and working on the front of that truck.
As well as he has a flat tire.
Exactly. He needs, look at this, into the outside wall, too.
Yeah, Brendan Newberry, after slamming the inside wall, goes to the outside wall as well.
They were in 4 and 5 wide there. Just a tough break and just racing for position there. Hard hit for Brendan Newberry.
2 of them.
So Brendan Newberry in the 24 out of that truck. A lot of damage to our driver champion, Matt Crafton, but still fighting for the Owners' Championship, as we'll have another attempt at a green-white checker. We have 3 attempts at a green-white checker to end the
right front tire is flat on that 88 truck as well.
And there's no nose left on the left front. The team maybe could get a piece of Kevlar over that left front and a couple of tires on it and have a chance.
I can't believe that just happened.
Cannot believe that just happened.
Yeah, Matt's going to have to come to pit road and give up the 18th spot he's in right now.
Can't believe the dude just come up like I wasn't there. Yeah, he sure did. Pit road's open, Junior. You got to tell him what you need here.
Ryan Blaney clutched the point for leading the most laps. So right now, all Matt would have to do would be to finish 19th to close out Kyle Busch for that owner's championship. And that's not out of the question. We just have right now 23 trucks on the lead lap, but he's got to come to pit road, Michael.
I don't understand. Let's get in there and fix it. We can pass some of these guys.
Pit road is open right now.
Pit road was open, and he decided not to come onto pit road that time by. That might have been a huge mistake for Matt Crafton.
Oh, a huge mistake. We could work on this baby and grab that 19th spot and win that championship.
Right now, his crew is watching our picture. That they see that right front tire is definitely slack on that truck. There's no way that he can stay on the racetrack when we restart this race.
We can, because we only got to run 2 laps, but he can't pass anybody on the racetrack.
And
he's
gonna need to pass a couple trucks.
Exactly.
Or not be passed anyway.
Well, one of the trucks that comes into play is Frank Kimmel, a teammate of his that is running in the 22nd position. He's got Mason Mingus. Jeb Burton in that 4, who has damage to his truck as well, will be right there in the mix of everything if he wants to get into that 19th spot. Dakota Armstrong currently running 19th. But Crafton is going to have to give up his position of 17th to come to pit road to do some work on this truck.
Yeah, he's got to come. He's got to come to pit road. See, there's Max Gresham's truck in front of him. He had some damage to the left rear quarter panel. He got into the outside wall as well.
This time by Matt Crafton.
I believe he's coming here, Rick.
Matt Crafton is down to the apron.
Bring it.
Bringing that 88 onto pit road. Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, Rick, the plan was all along, obviously, to bring this 88 down pit road to get some repairs done. They were just trying to get things ready in the pit, some pieces of sheet metal and some bare bond and some other things they need to try to get this truck so they can at least limp home to a finish and hopefully for the 88 car stay in contention for this owner's championship. A lot of damage to the right side of the truck, the right front fender and the left front fender area, as you can well see. But they just took 1 extra lap on the racetrack to get their parts and pieces together. And they're just trying to salvage what they can out of this 88. You heard on the radio, Matt Crafton cannot believe this happened.
Been nice if we could have pop riveted something to that left front, huh, Phil?
Yeah, sure would have. They're going to try to put some Barabond over on the right side. They certainly don't want to lose a lap, too. They have to watch the pace truck and make sure they don't lose a lap. They have to stay on the lead lap.
I like the idea of coming on the pit road as soon as we could, do a little bit of work at a time, not wait around to the very end and be forced to.
Yeah, I think they knew what they were going to need. They were going to need Barabond. They knew they were going to have tires on it.
So your champion caught up in this accident, but he's still fighting for that owner's championship. Two by two, the field once again lined up behind Kyle Busch and Brendan Gaughan in row number 1. Sparks flying from the 88 truck. He's got to finish 19th or better if Kyle Busch wins this race if he wants to claim the owner's championship. Coming through 4. Green flag back in the air. Kyle Busch with another great restart. Brendan Gaughan on his outside.
Johnny Sauter's going to jump to the inside of Armand Quiroga.
3 wide for 3rd. Johnny Sauter moves up, takes that spot. Here comes Ty Dillon in the 3 to the high side.
Johnny West Townley sideways all over Timothy Peters.
Sideways goes Sauter. Can he keep it straight? No, he's going to slide down the backstretch. Sauter's going to get to the inside wall, and the caution comes out again. We'll have a 3rd and final try at a green-white checker.
Okay, Matt Crafton needs to get to pit road here to get the stuff that's rubbing the racetrack, dragging the racetrack off it, unless it fell off.
So damage to the 98 now. He's on the access road. It's the 8th caution that's come out. Johnny Sauter was running in the 5th position.
Wow.
When this happens.
Matt Crafton came across the line in the 20th spot. Remember, he has to finish 19th.
And he's got parts and pieces rubbing on the racetrack, about to fall off of that 88. He's got to hang on for a few more laps. Would you put him on pit road right now?
Definitely.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Come pull some sheet metal, put some Barabond on it, do whatever you got to do to try to make it perform better so you can grab that last spot.
Ty Dillon and Johnny Sauter racing for position. Sauter spinning down the backstretch and got into the inside wall.
Looked like Johnny just had to chase this truck up the hill. He made contact with Ty Dillon. Remember, they've had several issues this season, but that was just hard racing right there.
Look at John West Townley. He got sideways and saved his truck.
Got into the 17 of Timothy Peters.
And up ahead of him, Johnny Sauter wasn't so fortunate.
So Sauter's on pit road. They're working on that truck.
Come to pit road, Matt. Let's change that left front tire. Pull some sheet metal.
Matt Crafton, who restarted and was running outside of the 20th spot, is now 20th. And it looks as though he stays on the racetrack, guys. There's been some crazy issues for ThorSport Racing.
Remember Ty Dillon and Johnny Sauter getting together at Eldora, and then
again
and again
during the future,
and then at Pocono as well.
Pocono, the two letting each other know of their displeasure of the way they were raced.
But tonight it was just a hard-charging Johnny Sauter that got loose on the inside of Dillon and wrecked himself.
Amazing job by Quiroga to miss Johnny Sauter as he spun across the racetrack. Amazing job. Cost him several positions, though. He had to slam on the brakes.
So after the contact, the 98 spins, hits the inside wall. Ty Dillon hangs on and is running third.
What an amazing recovery for this number 3 truck of Ty Dillon.
He's got a flat left rear.
Oh, boy.
Ty Dillon's going to have to bring that to pit road.
He was on a great spot up in the 3rd spot, would have restarted right behind, more than likely, Kyle Busch on the inside.
And we've seen Busch get amazing restarts, but instead he's going to come to pit road.
This is going to help Matt Crafton. This is going to move Matt another spot up, but temporarily.
Yeah, but he gets another tire on that thing. I just
don't think Crafton will be able to hold him off.
No.
But there may be some trucks that Matt can get ahead of here.
Herbie Sadler.
What a roller coaster ride it's been for the 3 truck tonight. Running very well. Jack brakes. They go back to the back of the pack. They drive back up to the top 5, into the top 3. And as we just saw on the replay, on the racetrack, a flat left rear tire racing with Johnny Sauter on the racetrack. They're going to come down, take 4 tires, go back on the racetrack and see what they can salvage out of this night. But just lots of crazy stuff going on this end of pit road, and the 3 truck back for 4 more tires and back to the last truck on the lead lap.
Fox Sports Live coming up just after the end of this race. Chris Thompson and the gang hanging out in the studio waiting for that checkered flag. This will be the last attempt at a green-white checker.
Guys, remember we said that Matt Crafton had to finish 18th no matter what Kyle Busch did. Well, Matt Crafton led a lap. Kyle Busch did not lead the most laps. That means that Matt Crafton has to finish 20th or better to clinch the Owners' Championship.
And if he's able to do that with that truck, then that'll be one of the best stories of the year. As good of a story as him winning the Drivers' Championship, leading it basically from wire to wire.
A bumper bar? Is that dragging on the ground here?
That's what's happening, and that's why we're seeing all these fireworks. But he's got a couple of his teammates are behind him. Johnny Sauter's 23rd, Kimmel's 24th. We've seen some damaged trucks, and Mason Mingus has some damage, and Weller, he's behind as well
right now. But Johnny Sauter, as they run on the racetrack, is 4th in points, 82 points behind. He's only 1 point ahead of Ryan Blaney and 2 points ahead of Jeb Burton in a battle for the top 5.
We're a lap away from the final attempt at a green-white checker finish for the Camping World Truck Series. You know, tomorrow, NASCAR coverage on Fox Sports continues live from right here, Homestead-Miami Speedway, with Sprint Cup Series practice. That's at noon Eastern on Fox Sports 2, followed by Nationwide Series qualifying and Sprint Cup final practice. Fox Sports continues to be your home for complete NASCAR coverage.
Do the trucks bring it or what?
Wow, I'm telling you, I'm going to keep one eye on Kyle Busch in that battle for the lead. I'm going to keep my other eye on that 88 truck of Matt Crafton.
How can we make it this dramatic? How could you put all this into motion and see how this turns out? Kyle Busch has gotten 2 great restarts. He needs to get a 3rd one, and he's going to win this race.
This will be the final attempt. So as soon as the green flag flies, the next flag that flies will determine the finishing order of this field. Bob Dillner.
Brendan Gaughan has been complaining about the transmission ratio of the gearing in his transmission. That's why he cannot get a good restart. But his crew chief Shane Wilson says, just concentrate. Now, his sort of teammate behind him, Austin Dillon, says Brendan's running the restarts wrong. He needs to roll the center. He's hitting the brake and stopping up that line. So he said if he rolls that center, he could go after this victory.
On the high side, Brendan Gaughan Down at the bottom of row number 1, Kyle Busch. Pace truck is off. The field behind. The front row. Kyle Busch and Brendan Gaughan. Final restart of the night. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway. Oh, and a little bump. The 29 of Ryan Blaney got into the back of the 62 of Brendan Gaughan.
Blaney's got better tires.
Blaney trying to take second away. 4 wide, 5 wide as they come out of turn 2.
Remember, a caution flag will end this race. See Matt Crafton back there trailing along that lead pack. Ty Dillon's already ahead of him.
Kyle Busch looking for his 35th win in the Camping World Truck Series. Into the wall. A couple trucks go through 3 and 4.
See, Matt Crafton's going to get by him, and that's going to win him the Owners' Championship.
Final lap in the Camping World Truck Series of 2013.
No caution yet, though. He's going to have to hold those guys off, as is Kyle Busch is going to have to hold off a very determined Ryan Blaney, who's been into the outside wall once trying to win this race.
Blaney with the momentum. Kyle Busch goes to the bottom of the track, trying to make sure nobody gets a draft as he goes into turn number 3. A big run by the 29.
Here comes Jeb Burton on the bottom of the racetrack.
Coming out of turn number 4, Kyle Busch tries to hold up the 29. Kyle Busch is going to win here at Homestead.
Keep an eye on Crafton, guys.
Matt Crafton will limp home not only your 2013 Drivers' Championship, but it looks as though he's one spot behind, potentially, that he needed to end up to get the Owners' Championship.
Freaking man, I'm sorry that thing wasn't any good, but God almighty. Woo! Yeah!
Unofficially, right now, we're showing the owner points tied between the 51 and the 88, and the 51 will get the tiebreaker by virtue of the wins.
4 wins. The Owners' Championship could have just went to Kyle Busch Motorsports. The Drivers' Championship we knew was locked up. At the start of this race, Matt Crafton had it. What a great run for Kyle Busch to end the 2013 season winning the Ford EcoBoost 200. Take a deep breath, Michael.
Look at all that debris down the front straightaway. These guys racing for everything they were worth to get every spot they could.
Dueling burnouts. You think they'll go nose to nose?
Who knows?
Or they'll shake hands. Crafton's going to get his champion flag as Kyle Busch celebrates the win, the final race of the 2013 season. Matt Crafton is going to enjoy the fireworks and celebrate his first championship in his 13th year of running in the Camping World Truck Series.
We're getting a report that the 29 of Ryan Blaney has been named Rookie of the Year. A great runner-up finish after getting into the outside wall. Jeb Burton also got into the outside wall, and he finished 3rd.
Kyle Busch, it's his 2nd Homestead win. Last time he was in victory lane was back in 2010. Matt Crafton, that 37-year-old, has claimed the Drivers' Championship. Unofficially, we're going to claim Kyle Busch and Kyle Busch Motorsports the Owners' Champion. Because of the tie in points, they would go to most wins. Kyle Busch Motorsports and that 51 team has the advantage there. We're still waiting for it to be official from NASCAR.
Amazing. Really amazing.
Came down to the final lap.
When Matt Crafton took the white flag, he was in position to win that Owners' Championship, and they got passed on the last lap.
And by the way, Matt Crafton completed every lap of the 2013 season. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Ryan Blaney getting and receiving congratulations from his guys. What a night for your team, battling for the lead. Obviously some contact with the wall. You come in, fix it, get back, and make a last lap dash at the win. What are your emotions right now?
You know, what could have been. You know, we had a great Cooper Standard Ford F-150 tonight. We led a lot of laps, and I just lost concentration for a second and got in the wall. You know, you're on the edge so much here. You know, you're running just half a foot from the wall the whole time, and one little slip can get you in it. And once you hit the wall, it's hard to get off of it. So I apologize for that. I knew we probably could have had a really good race with Kyle there at the end, but you know, we made a good call to come in and get 2 tires. And I tried to get Brendan going on that last restart, and he spun getting from second to third, and I lifted him up a little bit. So sorry for that, but if I could have cleared him just 1 corner sooner, I think we could have made a run at Kyle. But overall, you know, I can't complain about our season here with these Cooper Standard guys. You know, Ford, Draw Tight, Reese Tow Power, Penske Racing, everyone that helps out has been a really big part of this, and I really appreciate the help. So excited to be back next year.
This team showed a lot of fight, and Ryan Blaney is our 2013 Rookie of the Year. Bob?
Brendan Gaughan wanted that victory before he leaves for the NASCAR Nationwide Series next year. What happened? What caused you not to get into victory lane tonight?
Nah, you know, I do something a little different on my transmissions, and I needed about 8 points different. You know, I use a different deal, and I got one of them, but I need like 3 different styles, and we just kept spinning our tires, and then Ryan just almost freaking wrecked me hard. He knew he was trying to push me. I get that, he's young, but there's a difference between, you know, lifting you off the ground and trying to push you. And I lost even 4th on the last corner, so my own fault. Just stupid on my part. I feel bad. Southwind Chevy was good enough to win, and you know, I just had to restart Kyle, and he got 3 shots, and he beat me 3 times, so mad at myself.
4th straight top 5 finish for Brendan Gaughan.
Ram Guts and Glory. The 88 team after the 18 of Joey Coulter. For Kyle Busch Motorsports gets into that 88 and into the wall. Matt Crafton and that team able to bounce back and finish on the lead lap. All 22 races. Matt Crafton completed every single lap.
The truck was good enough to do a burnout, but just not good enough to hold off the likes of Jeff Agnew and Weller and B.J. McLeod. Those guys all got around him late in the going and cost him the owner's championship.
We're going to hear from race winner and series champion when we come back to Homestead. Thanks, Carissa. Championship week. Our first champion will be crowned here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. What an incredible turn of events took place in the final laps here in Homestead, Florida. Jeb Burton comes home in the 3rd spot. He's standing by with Hermie.
Funny conversation with your dad. Obviously, you're disappointed. You want to win the race, and this morning he said you were uncomfortable riding at the top of the wall, and you ended up looking like Harry Gant. Solid 3rd place finish. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's a good points night for us and stuff. I just hate it for my guys that I screwed up right there. We're getting a little too tight, and the only way I could catch Kyle was start running it in hard, and I would slide up a little bit, and I just ran in a little too hard, got a little air tight, and slid up and hit the fence. Yeah, right there. Just a little frustrating, but a good recovery, man. That shows the kind of race car we had. We drove from 25th to 3rd in 4 laps, and I'm ready for next year and try to go win a championship. Just got to thank all my partners, Arrowhead, for one, for me to be here. If it wasn't for them, everybody at home, hey, and Career Tank Lines, Pacific Equipment, and Rocky Ridge Trucks. And we'll be back next year and go get a championship.
That's Jeb Burton. Very solid effort for the 4 team. Ray?
Here comes Kyle Busch out of the Toyota Care Tundra. Win number 35 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And there is Monster Energy raining down from everywhere. Kyle, you blew up your truck at Texas, and you said this owner's championship is over. And guess what? Eric Jones wins, you win. You guys tie tonight, and the record is broken by the number of wins this season. Congratulations.
Wow, it means a lot. It means a lot to Kyle Busch Motorsports. It means a lot to myself and my wife, but most importantly, every one of our employees, everyone at the shop, everyone back at home, everyone here with us tonight. And man, this is so much fun to come out here and race for one, but to win races for 2, and to contend for owners championships. It's big for us. It's huge for Toyota and Toyota Care. We appreciate their support. Flexco, Monster Energy Drink, of course, Camping World. I appreciate them being here and letting us play in their series, and the fans too. I mean, they're awesome. They're supporting us out here tonight, and I can't say enough about this team. and Rudy and the guys that he had to work with this year with Bloomquist and Eric Jones and Chad Hockenbrock, and the guys that were able to pull through and get us good enough finishes to be in this position tonight, and especially Eric Jones last week, man. Thank Wake Up Narcolepsy for coming on board and helping Eric Jones with that. That was awesome to see that win last night. Without that win last week, I mean, we wouldn't have had a chance here this weekend. So can't say enough about Tasty Apple, Ingersoll Rand, Dollar General, everybody that's been a huge part of this. The truck this year, TRD, Schroth, everybody that's helped us out. It's fun.
All right, congratulations. KBM gets 7 wins in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series in 2013, guys.
Thanks, Ray. And it's time now for the victor goes the spoils. And that means that Matt Crafton, climbing out of his truck as the 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion.
It's got to be a great feeling. 13 years chasing a championship, and to be able to deliver that championship to his team, Matt's got to be on top of the world. Certainly disappointing way to finish the race, getting in a crash and not being able to close it out for the Owners' Championship, but great season for Matt Crafton.
And remember, Duke and Rhonda Thorson have been around longer than those 13 years that Matt Crafton's been driving this truck. So great to see them with a championship. And maybe they didn't get the Owners' Championship, but they certainly can share in this Driver Championship. It means so much.
What an incredible road Matt Crafton has been on to get to this championship. For so long it was, will he or is he ever going to win in the Camping World Truck Series? And then the magic win comes for him at 1.5 miles in Charlotte. He adds another win to his career, and then this year gets back to victory lane and has one of the most consistent seasons of all time.
Rick, he finished every lap of the year. He got in 2 major crashes, one at Talladega where he backed across the start-finish line, and then tonight. But he was able to get the truck home and finish every lap. That's amazing. It's amazing that that Toyota was that reliable. It's amazing that Matt Crafton was that solid.
Let's hear from Ron Hornaday. He was standing by with Bob Dillner.
Hornaday, he leaves one team, goes to another. They save your season, and you come back and wheel this truck to a top 5 finish. What does that say about you, this organization, and everything you went through?
First of all, thank the Lord. And Matt Crafton, the guys have been trying in Thor Motorsports. Glad to see them get the championship. They had it hands down coming in here. But I'll tell you what, this is so cool to have friends like Mr. Turner Scott Motorsports, and all these guys will work so hard on this thing, and Mr. Hendricks to give us a motor, and Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff staying aboard, coming with us and making this thing happen in the last 3-4 days. This is cool. I mean, these guys worked their guts out just to get this thing here, and it was so fun to go down there, and you walk down there to get in the truck, and there's 4 or 5 crew chiefs from everybody from Turner Scott and some of the other crew chiefs, and that says a lot. That makes me feel proud of what I've done through my career and everything else. So hopefully we can go back there and drink a beer with Mr. Turner and see if we can get something worked out with Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff. But I think one more green white checker we would have had, and we had pretty good tires on it.
So much unknown for Ron Hornaday. He is a true champion.
Final point standings. Matt Crafton ends up getting in front of Ty Dillon by 40 points. When the final checkered flag flew, Buescher hanging on to a 3rd place finish. Johnny Sauter, Jeb Burton, your top 5.
Believe it or not, and this didn't look like this probably any time but until the last lap, not one position changed in the top 10 points from how they came in here.
How could that be? They were all over the place all night long, and we talked about those trucks not being able to get to the win that pitted on lap 132 unless there were multiple green white checkers. There were, and several of those trucks that pitted late were able to charge to the front, including 2nd place Ryan Blaney and Jeb Burton, both right on the heels of Kyle Busch at the checker.
And Hornaday, we just heard him say a few moments ago he had pretty good tires on at the end. He was another one of the trucks that pitted on lap 132.
John West Townley finished in the 6th spot. John battled his way up to a great finish as well.
Last year's winner, Cale Gale, coming home in 10th in this race tonight. He's standing by with Bob.
A different scenario certainly for Cale Gale this year, but you come home with your 2nd straight top 10 finish, a 10th place here today. How about this battle here tonight? What was it like?
You know, we mainly fought a tight condition with our 33 Rude Chevrolet, and the first green white checker we didn't catch such a good break there on the restart, but the last one we did, so we were able to gain basically back to where we were running, maybe a couple spots before that. But 10th place finish, all in all, I had a good time. It wasn't the result we had last year, but I had a good time tonight, and
hopefully we get to do this some more. This guy's hoping to be back full-time next year, Krista.
Thank you, Bob. And I am standing on the championship stage where we're getting ready to do our presentations. The trophy will be handed out. All of the photographers standing by. We have NASCAR President Mike Helton on the stage. And our 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion, Matt Crafton, making his way. We'll give him the honored spot right here with daughter Elodie. We're going to go ahead and get the championship presentations started. We'll begin with our NASCAR President, Mike Helton.
And Matt, on behalf of everyone at NASCAR, congratulations on a great championship in 2013. You and Duke and Rhonda and all of Thor Sports have been at it for a long time, and you've been a big part of the Truck Series for a long time. It's finally great to see you win a championship, and we couldn't be more proud to have you as our 2013 Camping World Truck Series champion. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. And now for the trophy presentation. You've been eyeing this hardware for a few weeks now. Let's go ahead and turn things over to Chief Marketing Officer for Camping World, Tamara Ward. She will present the trophy to our 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver champion.
Matt, what a great season that you had. Your dedication and commitment to the Truck Series is commendable. On behalf of Camping World and Good Sam Enterprises, I am honored to present you with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series 2013 Champions Trophy.
That's a whole lot heavier than little Miss Elodie. Matt Crafton's been waiting 13 plus years for that. We'll talk to you in just a minute, but let's go ahead and do a championship presentation. Well, we'll turn things back over to NASCAR President Mike Helton for our owner's champion.
Kyle, you may be one of the, if not, you are the hardest working owner we've got in NASCAR. So congratulations on a great career, but particularly congratulations on the KBM's championship as an owner tonight. And we're proud to congratulate you and thank you for all you do for NASCAR. But, oh, that's right. I'm thinking the wrong person. But congratulations to all at KBM. And like I say, you're the hardest working owner we got in this sport. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations, Kyle, Samantha, on the Owners' Championship 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And let's turn back to our driver champion here and get some words from Matt Crafton. Consistency. You said you don't always win the battles, but you make sure you win the war. It's been 13 long seasons in the Camping World Truck Series. You know, we used to ask you, when are you going to make it to victory lane? You said you were tired of that question, so you went ahead and made it all the way to the championship stage.
Exactly. I mean, it's been so cool. Like I said, Menards, Duke and Rhonda Thorson, every one of these guys, work on this truck and make this possible. I mean, it's just an honor to be able to get to drive this truck and to get these guys that are behind me that, just give me such great trucks. I thought we had a shot at winning the race and just had a bad pit stop. We got hung back there and just got in a wreck. And like I said, it's so disgusting. But all in all, like I said, Camping World Truck Series champion. Nobody can take that away, right?
And with the racing we saw, you mentioned the racing. I mean, we say it all the time. The racing in the Truck Series is second to none. We saw it again tonight. But knowing that you would go into this race and be crowned the champion, you were able to have a little bit of a lighter shoulders, a lighter burden coming into this race.
Oh, without a doubt. But at the same time, we wanted to be able to win the Owners' Championship, and I thought we had that pretty good at hand just because we were running so good. And they just had the bad pit stop. We got packed there and got hung and just got wrecked, like I said. But I can't think, the whole year, just what the whole year has been to us. Just the consistency and racing to win. The last 2 months has been, huge burden on my shoulders just trying to sleep at night. Like I said, it's been a blessing.
Well, you can sleep tonight as the 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. Congratulations, Matt Crafton, on an incredible season. What a year it's been. In April, he welcomed Elodie into the world. He won his first race 5 days before that. Now he is the 2013 champion. Rick?
Thanks, Krista. And what a year Thor Sport has had. They started the season off 2 wins with Johnny Sauter. He led the points for the first 3 races, and then Matt Crafton took over and never looked back.
Completed every lap on his way to being the 2013 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Drivers Champion.
What an outstanding year. We mentioned that the Driver and Owner Championship in the ARCA Racing Series for Frank Kimmel, Duke Thorson. Second team ever to win the Truck Series Championship and the ARCA Series Championship in the same season.
Duke and Rhonda Thorson have been a part of the Camping World Truck Series for quite some time now, and it all pays off tonight as they've claimed the Drivers' Championship in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And what an eventful night it was for us. We didn't know the Owners' Championship until after the checkered flag flew.
What an eventful year it's been for us. All these races have just been so dramatic. There's twists and turns all the way along the road that just make the Camping World Truck Series the most fun racing in NASCAR.
Matt Crafton had the Owners' Championship at the white flag, just didn't quite have it at the checker flag.
What a great crew. It's been an honor to work with everyone this year. Congratulations to not only Matt Crafton, but also Kyle Busch on winning tonight's race.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just want to say thanks to all the fans that have come out this year and supported the Camping World Truck Series.
We appreciate you fans for coming out and supporting us and watching the greatest racing on earth. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
Really, their support, their dedication has made this series and this sport grow to the level it has right now.
They love the sport. They come to the racetracks and they support us.
It gives us a job. If them fans weren't in the stands, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Big shout out to the fans for all their hard work and dedication to making it out to the races each and every weekend. It doesn't go unnoticed, so myself and my team really appreciate it.
When they stand up and cheer and give it all they got at a race, it makes us want to give it all we can.
We appreciate everything you do for us, and that's why we do what we do for you.
To all the folks that spent their hard-earned money to come out and watch the NASCAR Camping World Trucks this season, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
They're everything. If we didn't have all the fans, we would not be doing what we're doing right now.